Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome to 4Player Podcast, episode 517. It is August 23rd, right? 2017. I feel like I haven't said the date in a while. Anyways, my name is Nick Henderson. To my right is Brad Simons.
Hey there, Nick.
Who?
This is baseball newscasty Brad.
I thought first, like, are you trying to do your best, like, classic talk radio, like old talk radio? Nolan Hedstrom.
Hey guys, it's actually the 24th today.
Is it?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Oh, ruined!
Shit.
I fucked.
Ruined!
It's the 24th. God damn it. And Christopher Guthridge is also... No, we're not resetting. We've gone too far.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Been better.
Oh.
No, I'm okay. I'm
I
good.
I never
good.
know
How
what
are you
to
guys?
I never really know what to say when people say been better. It's like, this just got
Everything
awkward.
in general has been better.
Anyways, we apologize for the late start this evening. We were having a little bit of some audio issues, which we seem to have figured out, kind of, sort of. We've remedied.
Yeah.
But we appreciate everyone who's watching us live on Twitch for sticking with us through our sound tests. Why are you shaking your head, Brad?
I'm just thinking about that Yakuza news. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we will talk about that breaking news maybe in the second segment. I do want to let everybody know next Thursday, we are tentatively, instead of the podcast, going to be doing a D&D session, tentatively. This also kind of hinges upon Brad might be here, might not be here. The time approaches.
Something
right?
will happen next Thursday.
Cutting it close.
Brad may or may not have a child next week, which will inevitably lead to Brad's gonna be going on a brief hiatus for a little while he settles into the life as a father. You ready, Brad? Brad, you with us, Brad?
I'm ready.
He's going catatonic.
I'm ready.
He's just like I'm already gone. But yeah, so
Don't induce the labor.
Oh god.
Now we're getting fucking birthing advice in chat.
No birthing advice. Brad does not need birthing advice.
You're going to be in the delivery room, and the doctor's going to be like, I hear a faint radio station.
It's really metal in this baby.
Oh, good lord. But anyways, enough about that. Just wanted to reiterate, Brad's going to be going on a brief hiatus. But the podcast will continue, and we will eventually have Brad back to talk about all the sweet games. Brad,
Basically just Divinity.
and your Switch. Brad, you got a Switch.
Oh, I did. I got a Switch today.
Just a little while ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an impulsive thing. I don't think I've ever seen one in the wild. I mean, I was always planning to buy a Switch before Mario came out. I didn't want to really be stressed about getting one.
So when you saw one in the wild,
time approached, you know, I was going to get one. I just convinced myself, well, maybe there'll be like a bundle or something. But if you look at a lot of the bundles, they're not that much of a deal.
They're not.
Especially if you don't want all the extra crap that comes with it.
You don't.
If it's a GameStop bundle, it's not a deal at all.
So really what we're talking about, and if you look at like the Splatoon and there was another one, it's just different colored Joy-Cons.
Yep.
Honestly, I kind of want the gray anyway, so I don't really care.
anyways, Brad has joined the elite Switch.
Brad,
the elite
if you
Switch
want,
owners.
you can borrow.
I'm the only one that doesn't have a Switch?
Yeah.
Damn.
You can borrow my
it's okay.
Breath of the Wild.
Nobody's been broadcasting Switch.
I know you've already played it on Wii U, but if
I
you
might
want to borrow
broadcast
my
some Switch
Breath of the
stuff.
Wild-
No. I don't want to see the Switch version. I've played like 50 hours of Breath of the Wild.
I'm
So.
just saying, it's fun to play in bed. I know you have that
There's
little
plenty
arm.
of Switch stuff out there, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
it is.
Especially a lot from the store.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
You should get
I want to get Puyo Tetris.
snipper clips.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one to play with Malia.
I haven't had too much time to play Sonic Mania yet,
I need some
but I'm playing that on
three-player
Switch.
games.
Brad, your
Oh,
baby
for you
can't
and your
play
wife
games.
and your newborn child. Your newborn child.
Oh
gonna
man,
play
I
your
can't wait
Switch?
till he's old enough and we can play Secret of Mana.
You're getting a little ahead of yourself there.
Sorry.
Anyways, before we move on from that, I also want to point out, y'all may have noticed, if you're watching us live, we've kind of debuted a new variation of our logo, which you'll see at the top of your screen there. We have a new logo, which was actually very generously designed and produced for us by a listener who I believe goes by the name of Swery.
Swery?
65?
The creator of Deadly Premonition?
I don't have it in front of me, and it's I couldn't find it on Twitter when I was going with that. His real name I can't even pronounce,
Swarley?
so I'm not even going to try and butcher it. But he, when we were at E3, he actually reached out to us with a logo he had designed for us, just for shits and giggles, and we were pretty pumped about it. So big thanks out there to him for putting this logo together. We're actually going to be rolling it out across all of our social media, our Twitch channel, our Patreon channel, the website. I'm working on some updates. We're going to include it there too. So pretty much all the content you see going forward from us is going to include this new branding. We haven't changed our logo in probably 5 years, maybe more. I don't remember. It's been a while. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it, and you'll be seeing it on all of our new content, including very, very soon, Brad's top 10 games of all time. The video is 99.9% done.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't want to say what's gonna happen, but I'm worried that people are gonna see my number 10 and just shut the video off. Go, what the fuck is this shit? And shut it off.
I watched your entire
it's
video.
Spyro?
I had your entire video going in the background today while I was working.
in the background. Were you paying attention?
I was listening. I was listening to it kind of like a podcast.
How was it?
Good. I mean, I listened to the whole 76.
You were the pitch in your voice, the way you said "good."
Sorry, it's like
He did look up. He did look down and away. That's generally a sign that someone's lying.
How's my homemade beer? It's good. Good. Tastes real good. Yeah, real good.
Anyways,
Would you like another? Oh, no, I couldn't.
look for Brad's top 10 games of all time. That's kind of we're going to be cranking out the rest of our videos here shortly, but Brad's going to be the first ones coming out probably within the next day or two, so look for that. It's going to have the new logo all over it. Also, just people in chat who are asking about shirts. Yes, somebody in Twitter actually said today, when is this logo going to be on the shirt? And I was like, well,
Fuck you.
well, the new logo. We're going to have new
mimic that person's voice very condescendingly.
We're gonna have new merchandise on the storefront with the new logo. We're gonna try and put one together with the caricatures of us or whatever that Nellifi did for us. Hopefully, if I can get that figured out. And to the people who are support us on Patreon, we are going to be sending out that mug to people who are supporting us at the $15 tier, I believe it is. If you're a $15 supporter on Patreon, you'll be getting your mug soon. Hopefully we'll get that done. It's going to have the new logo on it, which is why we haven't said anything about it or committed to it yet, because we wanted to get the new branding on it. So we will be putting out that mug for you guys very, very soon. But with that said, we're going to be talking about Uncharted today. Lost Legacy.
Yep.
Right? You excited about that? Actually, I didn't realize 3 of us on the couch are playing it. Krispy still hasn't touched an Uncharted game.
You fool!
You're a bad person.
The cheese stands alone.
The cheese stinks alone.
But before we do that, of course, we start the show out every week by reading feedback from our last episode. So if there's anything...
We're getting plenty of feedback before the show.
That's true.
Yeah. A lot of baseball feedback.
Technical humor for
Did
you.
anyone actually check to see how the Express were doing?
No, we did not. No, seriously, before the show, we were picking up AM radio station on these microphones, which is wonderful. Anyways, our first bit of feedback this week comes from Larrick.
Oh, Larry.
Larrick? I've actually never seen...
Laura.
Laura?
Laura.
He says, or she says, I don't know. While I agree that the resetting of the zone, we talked about Sonic Mania last week. While I agree that the resetting of the zone instead of the act is a weird choice, the lives and continue system more like older games that has no. Wait, the lives and continue system act more like older games that have no saves, no level replaying, and reset when the console is powered off. What? They're designed to be played and failed multiple times, getting a little further each time. From experience, you'll learn paths and remember that you need to jump at certain times to avoid things. Previous games before the I can't speak. Before the save slots,
Yeah.
which I think you specified.
I'm following.
Started in Sonic 3. We're more about collecting continues than lives, because if you run out of those, it's a total game over. The older games tend to culminate in single-act zones, meaning continuing isn't punishing in the Mania style. God, Sonic is fucking complicated.
It is.
I can't
It's
follow
not
this shit.
complicated.
I'm
It's
glad
just
somebody can follow
brutal
this.
in old school lives and continues. They're a fucking holdover from arcades where you were popping coins into the machine. It's archaic bullshit. It artificially made the game harder and more stressful, and there's way more interesting ways to do it. There's plenty of hard games. You could play fucking Meat Boy or N Plus or Trials or Dark Souls, and you don't have to have lives and continues. You don't have to play the game in one fucking sitting. It's not necessary. You can still have a challenging and rewarding experience without that old school bullshit.
Sorry, he goes on. He's almost done. Says, you need to spend the early game building up that buffer of continues. Continue is 4 lives. Would you rather farm 4,000 rings or 10 continues?
Neither.
4,000.
Neither.
You need 1,000 rings for another life?
400, right?
He wrote
Neither.
4,000.
I think
Maybe
he
he meant
meant
400.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a typo.
Jesus Christ.
What was that? Was that you? Oh, God.
yeah.
Is it happening?
Sorry. No,
Was that the bat phone?
In Mania, your quote-unquote cool bonus from those affect your end act score. Enough end act score gives a continue. So you can think of your objective in the levels as building your continue buffer for the end game. You only have so many chances. God, shit, that's complicated as fuck. I still have it. I mean, I haven't touched Sonic Mania much since last week just because I haven't had much time. But
For me, it's
this
one of
actually
those,
makes
it's
me
one of
a
those
little
things where
nervous.
it's like the game is so fast paced. And it can be so frustrating when you get slowed down. And so, I mean, in my opinion, something like Mario has lives as well. But I feel like I die so much less in a Mario game than
You're
in
moving at a
Sonic because
slower
you move
pace.
slightly slower. I understand you're slower. But I think, if anything, like, Sonic games should be more generous with their lives, with their stopping you from progressing the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of my.
No, I was
on
actually
that.
listening to another podcast this week, and I was so relieved to hear somebody else had kind of the same problems we were talking about last week, where they realized they're like, God, I don't think I like Sonic Mania because it actually is just all the things that I've never really liked about Sonic, which is all the things that we've been talking about. Anyways,
it's so easy to take a random hit because you're going so fast and you can only see so much in front of you. You lose so many rings that it's so hard to gain.
Don't you
lives.
lose all but one ring? Or
Well,
it's
no. I mean, you can get like a handful of them,
Well,
but
if you collect
you,
them.
you have to get 100 to get an extra life. You hit one thing, and your chance of
that's
getting
my
those
thing
is,
with
like,
Sonic
pretty
is
much
like
gone.
you only see fucking 10 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
Like I wish you could see 3 times that distance.
I'm
in front
going
of you
to
so
try
you
and-
know what's coming up.
I'm going to try and fight that urge. I've been talking to Jack, and after hearing people talk about it last week and whatnot.
He's British. You can't trust British people when it comes to Sega shit.
No, what I'm saying is I'm going to, and I heard this on that same podcast I was listening to as well. Like, you have to kind of fight that instinct to just
quit?
go fast.
Oh yeah, I know.
And I'm going to try and remind myself that you can take your
But-
time to think things out and
It's still
But
punishing.
it's Sonic.
Yeah, you gotta go fast.
no, but like that's everyone that
He
was
only does his arms behind his back when he's running.
Oh my god, someone told me that he did that Naruto shit in the old school ones. I popped in Sonic 2. He did not Naruto with his arms, you fucking liar. That's some anime bullshit.
All right, next comment comes from the legend JP. I've been waiting for a reason to buy No Man's Sky since it came out. I've always been excited about the idea of the game. The recent update seems like what it needed to get me to finally buy on a decent sale. I'm glad Krispy gave it another shot. Star Citizen is nowhere close to being out, so maybe this can finally fill that void. You still playing that?
I mean, don't try to fill a Star Citizen shaped hole in your heart with No Man's Sky. Just don't do it. Like, that's just kind of a recipe for disaster,
wait.
I feel like.
Just wait for Star Citizen. It's coming.
I mean, it's still a different thing. It's still a different thing. Yeah, Star Citizen's still coming. Have faith. Have faith, believers. Maybe.
Dude, I have
Hey, it's better than doing No Man's Sky and releasing it now, not done, and then waiting a year to make it good.
Guys, I have a bad feeling about Star Citizen. I'm just saying.
Dude, that
But
might
it's
end
made
up,
so much
that
money.
might end up happening anyway.
I know, that's true.
But I mean, that was like their plan. Was like release it and then develop it over the next 8 years.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yes, I haven't played that much this past week. I know I said I was gonna dive more into it and get some footage. Unfortunately, I had some other non-video game, non-podcast related stuff come up over the last week, so I haven't had as much time. to get into it. But I haven't
it's
playing a
actually
little
okay
bit.
because last week, remember when you were like, we'll just kind of touch on it. And we ended up talking about it for like 20
Yeah, we
minutes.
talked
Yep.
about it a lot. So we don't need to really spend another segment on it. Although I would like to, I might play it for one of my broadcasts or something because I would like people to see kind of some of the new stuff that's in there because it's kind of surprising how much stuff is in there and how little of it is. I mean, they put in like little guides and stuff to kind of guide you through what they've added into it, but it's not really immediately apparent how much more there is going on under the surface until you actually like get in and play for a little while.
Gotcha.
But it's really cool. I'm glad that somebody is giving it a chance. This is probably the best time to do it,
Dude, I pulled up No Man's Sky on Amazon, almost hit buy, but then I was like,
How much is it like in a GameStop though? Maybe that's
cheap.
where you should get it.
I added
it
it
might
to a
have
wish
gone
list.
up a little bit, but a few weeks ago,
It was
like,
28 on Amazon.
Yeah, a few weeks
Brand new.
ago, it was like it was in the 20 and under.
It's-
bin.
it's
I saw it on
$60 on
GameFly for like $14.
I decided I wasn't going to buy it right now because I'm still playing Neo, and I was like, I can't let myself buy a game like No Man's Sky when I'm still playing Neo. Anyways, moving on.
I mean, Neo.
Neo. By the way, why the fuck have y'all not played Neo?
I have.
I have. I own
because
it.
I can't. I've got this like.
Yeah.
Nick, do you want to see all
I
the other
bought it.
fucking games I'm playing right now?
I bought it
Do you know how
when
much
it came out.
Persona 5 I've played?
I was playing 5 games at a time last week.
Man, Neo is what I need to be playing right now, but I can't get it for less than
No, I was
fucking
really into
new
Neo.
retail price.
I found that on Amazon for like $30 a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
been playing that
there was
game-
there was a sale on Amazon and at GameStop
I've been
that
playing
I
that
fucking
game for
missed.
almost 40 hours, and I am just over the halfway mark.
I'm surprised you've only played it that much. I guess you've only been playing it on the feed.
I'm gonna start shifting and playing more of it off the feed, I think, because I want to pick up the pace on it. Piosh says, I don't know if anyone has clarified. That would have been great to have a pop screen for.
Yep.
If a pop screen that doesn't pick up AM radio. God damn it, stop it. I don't know if anyone has clarified this for Krispy over the past 2 weeks, but just so he and his wallet may sleep soundly at night, all of the stuff from Overwatch's summer event last year was brought back for this year.
Yeah.
You can find them in loot boxes or use coins to unlock them, and they're even at the normal price. I have no doubt that all the stuff from this year will make a return next year, which is why I'm not too worried about collecting everything now.
I got the McCree lifeguard skin, so
Oh.
I'm pretty happy. But I did buy more.
You
loot
bought
boxes.
more loot boxes?
Yeah. So
Dude, I was tempted. I
you know.
kind of want to try Overwatch. Is that weird?
Dude, Overwatch is cool.
I know, but I just don't play games like that.
They're
It's one of the-
changing. They
one of
just
those
announced
weird
today. I don't know if they announced it today or sometime in the last couple days. They're changing how Mercy works, like pretty much completely. They're changing her ultimate. They're changing her ability to like res people.
Cool.
And they're overhauling Diva in the future, but we don't really know what that's gonna look like.
Well, Lord have mercy.
And they released that new fucking May short, which was pretty cool.
I heard Diva can thrust and shoot now.
All right.
Like actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
KNC Cito says, I'm really happy that you guys are playing Hollow Knight. It's a really enjoyable game and by far my favorite game of the year outside of Tekken. It's quite the pair. I hope Team Cherry keeps adding onto the game because I
Listen,
can't
buddy,
get enough.
you talking shit about Tekken?
No, it's just like the
Me and Kay and Cito and myself, we played
Yeah.
quite a few matches
got-
online.
I know. I hope Team Cherry keeps adding onto the game because I can't get enough of Hollow Knight. If you guys haven't already, you should try fighting the 2 bosses they added in the free DLC. They're really fun.
I was playing
Are you
some Hollow
fucking
Knight
serious?
last night.
Did my mic cut off?
No.
No, Nick, don't panic.
No, you're fine.
No.
Testing.
Nick, don't panic.
But they're saying my mic cut out.
Well, Von Wolfman did.
I think it's because you were looking down away from your microphone when you were
Yeah.
talking.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
No, actually, maybe it did.
What the fuck? Yeah, it's definitely.
Well, I muted you, Nick.
Well, at least
I-
we know
I-
it's not the cables.
Yeah, I will agree that Hollow Knight is
Knight's
an
so
amazing game. I'm glad Crispy's playing more of it. I want Nick to, but I understand he's holding out for a Switch version, and I hope that comes out sooner than later so he can play it because it's an excellent game. that
Oh,
more
man.
people need to play.
Damn, I got the fucking Crystal Dash last night. I got the Wings last night.
Actually,
good.
actually,
Uh-oh.
I might just play it on PC.
This guy.
Because I now have a new PC. Thank you, Nolan.
You're welcome.
So yeah, and I
Did
had
Nolan
someone
buy it for him?
No, someone gifted it to me because it was on sale recently. So I have a copy.
I mean the computer.
Oh no, he only put it together. So yeah, I might cave and because at this point I don't have faith that game's gonna come out before the end of the year. We'll see. Anyways, moving on. Haste says I hate Illinois Nazis.
I do too.
Yeah, everybody does.
And I love that fucking movie.
When Nick spoke of using sound direction in clever ways, he mentioned that it is something either underutilized or not used at all in most games. However, you'll find that most first-person shooters rely on crucial sound direction cues when detecting other players. I just recently experienced a lot of cases in Battlefield 1 where the direction of the source of footsteps and screams allowed me to kill folks creeping up on me. That is true. When I stated that, I wasn't necessarily thinking about first-person shooters. I was thinking more along the lines of like using audio in like interesting story, like narrative ways, because I think Hellblade takes advantage of it in ways that I've never really experienced before. But yes, I have experienced that exact same thing playing first-person shooters where I've heard I think Call of Duty 4, like when I played a lot of multiplayer, like
Battlefield does it well.
I mean, I think it's any game that implements it well.
Yeah.
Recently, I've been playing some PUBG, and it's very important to hear footsteps. And it's funny when I'm playing with someone else who doesn't have a mic or headphones that don't have like completely directional stuff. They literally won't know what direction. They'll be like, oh, they're on the right. And I'm like, no, I have surround sound headphones. They're on the left. Like, sometimes it can be hard to tell. And so when that's implemented well, it's really helpful. But I've always been curious, you know, in real life, if you hear a loud noise on your right, but there's something there, it can bounce off of something on the left, like a building. I'm curious as if it's implemented like that. That's going to be pretty complex in a game.
That's a good question, to be honest.
I don't know.
But I don't know. When I was talking about that, I was very specifically thinking about the way it's used in Hellblade, which is unusual. I think it is not the norm. And if you have not yet tried that or experienced what I'm talking about, definitely urge everyone to try Hellblade, especially if you have surround sound or nice headphones, that kind of thing.
They don't even have to be nice headphones.
Yeah.
They definitely sell pretty cheap gaming headphones that have surround sound.
But even then,
I'm just saying,
it's simulated
earbuds
through
probably
stereo.
wouldn't be great for it, but I don't know. Let's see. Drew327. Quick comment on the Final Fantasy 12 remaster. Did we talk about that last week? I don't know. Which I'm almost through. Love that 4x speed. I can't remember if the older versions had language options, but I've been playing this with Japanese voiceover.
They didn't.
I find Vaughn more likable, and Fran and Balthier in particular have awesome Japanese voiceovers.
It's good to know.
Yep, good to know. I will still one day
The
go
English
back.
voice acting is kind of amazing, though. So.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Chai, we all know Chai. On the discussion of playing from the villain's perspective, somebody asked us about that in our Patreon questions, I believe. Drakengard 1 and 2, which are the precursors to Nier, right?
Not
Technically?
exactly.
That's kind of a weird situation. Actually does this. In Drakengard 1, the more endings you get, the more you realize that the main character aren't exactly the greatest of heroes.
What?
In Drakengard 2, you play a character in the opposing army where you realize the main character of Drakengard 1 is a monster who is slaughtering your armies by the hundreds for selfish reasons. That sounds really interesting and actually kind of makes me want to try Drakengard, but
They're not games.
They're not, yeah.
In my opinion.
It just sounds interesting.
Ending E of the first Drakengard sets up the storyline that becomes, Nier, but they're not. You don't need to play it.
That is still kind of such a weird connection. And our final bit of feedback this week comes from Cobra. I like how the best Sonic game that we've had in years is basically just the first one again. That's all he says. But that's also kind of true. Like, yeah. I mean, it seems like kind of a love letter to like some of the like Sonic 1, 2, maybe 3. I'm not an expert on the past or the history of Sonic, but I've heard a lot about Sonic Mania and the way it's designed and how it's like pulling in levels and homages to specific beloved levels in Sonic games, and then like every act, or are the zones broken up into acts? Is that how it works, right?
I believe
It's 2 acts. I think it used to be 3 acts, but
Yeah, Zone has different acts.
Okay, so I
Act
think
1,
like the second act in each zone might be completely original, but based off of extrapolated out from like
yeah.
the original.
I mean,
stuff.
nothing is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But The second stages are like definitely more original and remixed than that first stage, which is slightly remixed in some cases, but
it definitely does seem like a love letter to classic Sonic. But it is kind of strange that like people have been wanting and begging for like a really good Sonic game in years, and the first one we finally get is actually just like kind of like old Sonic, but just nicer, like prettier.
it's almost like the 3D Sonics were never good.
Snap.
I liked Adventure. There was a whale.
No, you don't like Adventure.
I like that
You pop in
whale.
Adventure right now and act like you're having a good time.
Well, I'd have to be playing it with
Impossible.
I'd have to be playing it with a Dreamcast controller.
I have one.
you think playing with the Dreamcast controller is going to help?
No,
Dreamcast.
No,
Oh.
I'm saying. First of all, I haven't picked up a Dreamcast controller in God only knows how long, and then I'm already fully aware of and accepted the fact that my memory of Sonic Adventure is probably not nearly as good, or it's not as good as I remember it being.
Everyone remembers the whale.
Yeah, because that's
I mean, the dolphin.
no, it's a whale.
No, it's a dolphin.
It's an orca, you son of a bitch.
Which is a whale.
Which is
Closely
a whale.
related to dolphins.
Definitely a whale, though.
In a way, you're both right, but Nick is more right.
Yeah, damn, I'm more right. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all of the feedback. We appreciate all the comments and feedback. We love responding to them. So if there's anything tonight you want to chime in on, please leave us a comment over at 4playernetwork.com, and we'll get to that at the start of our next episode. Which, reminder again, might be in 2 weeks if we end up doing D&D next week, which is looking pretty likely. So get your feedback in. We'll respond to it next week. All right, it's time. What the hell is that? Why are you?
I think it's the radio station.
Someone's just jerking off
They're
furiously.
playing the sloppy slosh hour.
Oh god! All right, let's.
The killer whale or orca is a toothed whale belonging to the oceanic dolphin family.
Which is
Whoa.
why he said that I'm more right than you.
No, I said it's a dolphin.
But it's a whale that belongs to a
No,
dolphin
what
family.
I said was
Well, let's move on.
what I said was you're both right. So I'm more right.
Well, but you didn't say anything.
Exactly.
So, Brad, sometimes the only winning move is not to play.
This guy gets it.
But I threw the first pitch.
I don't know
Then you
baseball
already
puns, so I
lost.
can't be a part of this conversation anymore. All right, let's talk about Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. That's easily the biggest release that most of us on this couch
Yeah,
have been playing.
correct. No, everyone on that couch.
Yeah, sorry, everyone on this couch has been playing. It's only 50% on that couch.
Yeah.
Bastard. One day, Crispy. One day. You should play.
Crispy, go home, go on Amazon, buy Uncharted, and start enjoying the worldwide sensation that is Uncharted.
Anyways, Uncharted: Lost Legacy is out.
Yeah,
This
no
is-
Nathan Drake.
No Nathan Drake. This game stars Chloe. What is Chloe's? What's her last? Fraser. Chloe Fraser, and Nadine from Uncharted 4, which actually turns out I think is a pretty
So,
cool pairing.
can we
both
talk
have
about
weird
that?
voices,
Can we
though.
talk about that pairing?
Yeah, of course. I feel like that was going to be a.
Because I'm on chapter 7
Okay.
out of I don't know, and I'm still not in love with the pairing. It still seems I don't 100% understand why they're working together. It seems, coming off of Uncharted 4, Chloe wouldn't be like, "Hey, this Nadine person's probably cool."
Well, I think the implication here is that Nadine, following the events of 4, ended up breaking off from the military group that she was leading
She
and
did.
is now a mercenary.
So she did, and they actually talk about that. You and Brad probably aren't there yet. They do actually bring up some of the events from 4 and why they led Nadine to being where she is now.
Yeah.
And her feelings about some things. They do get into that, but I guess at first it just seems super weird. Like
It is kind of an unusual pairing, and maybe not the first. Like, if I was trying to think of a pairing, like someone to pair, I think first of all, I think Chloe's a fantastic choice.
oh no, definitely.
I think Chloe's. I
love
like.
Chloe.
I would, to be honest, after having played about 3.5 hours of this game so far, if they were to continue pushing forward the series without Nathan Drake, I feel like Chloe would be a very suitable.
I want to see more Cutter
Who's Cutter again?
from 2.
3.
3? Yeah, 3. Sorry, 3.
Who's Cutter?
He was the British guy, bald British
Bald,
guy.
tough guy.
I'm Cutter.
Man, I'm quickly realizing I do not remember much about 3.
Dude, hold on. I will say.
I remember the cruise
because
ship?
Before 4, I played through 1 through 3,
Yeah.
each game twice.
You monster.
Well, I speed ran it the second time.
Yeah.
3 is a lot better than I even remember. That is a great game, and I think
I know. I feel like
think
I've always had to defend it.
well, we've had this discussion too, and that coming off of 2, yes, it's not as good as 2 in some people's opinions. Some people think it's better, but 3's a fantastic game.
No, I think 3 has some fantastic
And if anyone
moments.
hasn't replayed it, definitely if you have the PS4 version, it runs great on PS4.
Yeah.
Krispy, I'd be willing to lend you my set if you want to play the Nathan Drake series.
Sure.
They are great games. Anyway, yes, Cobra's right. Cutter, aka Jason Statham.
Why don't you?
I
wanna
don't
play
remember
Uncharted,
this
Krispy?
character at all.
Do you not like adventure? Do you not like Indiana Jones?
Do you not like
Fun.
I just came out here to do a podcast, and I'm feeling really attacked right now.
Oh, can I say that lockpicking was not a fun addition?
It's not great. It's kind of boring, and I don't see
Yeah.
the point of it.
Is it Skyrim style?
Well, I think the point of it was she's a thief, so they feel like you should be lockpicking
yeah,
stuff.
but I mean,
Also,
those crates
Drake's a
could have
thief.
just
He
been
never
opened.
picked the goddamn lock.
nah, he's a treasure hunter, not a thief. There's two different. They're two different things.
Okay.
Okay, maybe that was a bit of a stretch.
That's your
I'm really
imperialistic worldview.
Sexist and racist. Thanks,
What?
Nick.
So
White privilege
One
and-
thing I'll say about the Lost Legacy is it really feels like they took a Nathan Drake game and just picked out his character and then placed Chloe where he was.
Yeah,
That's what it
but
really
that's
feels
literally
like.
what it
That
is,
is
right?
right.
Exactly what it
and
is.
It's just funny because there's like a scene where like Chloe and Nadine are like, oh no, this actually means this, and they're kind of walking around and analyzing the history of stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, this is just Uncharted.
Oh,
just they replace
Yeah,
Nate
it's like,
Drake with
Like,
Chloe.
oh my god, we're gonna lead the bad guy here.
Yeah, like, oh, we'll do this, and oh no, we led the bad guy right here to us. They followed us. What did we do? Like, kind of
Not to mention, Chloe's character literally has the exact same animation set as,
oh yeah, no,
as Nathan Drake.
no,
from
it's definitely the
Uncharted
same
4.
animation.
And even her archetype is very Drake-esque.
Yeah.
She's an every woman.
No, Nadine actually brings that up. She compares Chloe to Drake. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
not gotten there.
yeah.
But
Oh,
I
you
do
will.
like Chloe. She's Claudia Black. Yeah.
Claudia Black, yeah, and Laura Bailey is Nadine.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. I can't. What is she like? South African or something? Because her voice is so weird. Nadine's.
Nadine, she is.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain she's South African.
South Africans.
Right, when you hear somebody talk and they have that weird accent that you can't quite put your finger on.
South African.
It's usually South African.
That's like
As in
what's her face?
horrible.
What's Mr. F? What is her name?
Mr.
Charlize
Charlize Theron
Yeah.
is South
Oh my
African.
god.
Really?
Yes.
The worst voices.
She's from South Africa.
Yes, for sure.
Really?
Yes.
I had no
Her
idea.
name is Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Is it?
I didn't know Theron was a South
Very
African
common
name.
South African name.
It's not American.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not an expert on South African names. You
I thought
fuckers.
she was American. I thought she was American.
I mean, first of all, she is American. Second of all,
Is it offensive or racist or like jingoistic or
Jingoist,
whatever? Like for me to
think.
say that they are the worst sounding people in the world?
Yes.
Okay, then I take it back.
But it is true.
All right. Anyway.
I'm just kidding.
so one
I
thing
just
you'll
don't like
notice if you have
Nathan's
subtitles on, when she says yeah, it's like J-A.
Ja.
Ja.
Like ha.
Yeah.
no, yeah, I've noticed
Ja.
that.
Like,
You
like
mean
the
Ja,
German
you've
ja.
noticed that? But anyway,
Ja.
so
Ja.
I've been playing Uncharted. I'm fairly far into the game. Nick and Brad had to leave the room when they got here because I was ahead. I was playing.
Well, first of all, that doesn't surprise me at all because you are Nolan, and Nolan is a big fan of Uncharted.
I am. Well, so here's the thing, though. When this game first came out and I picked it up, I wasn't feeling it right away. I was not as excited as I was like for Uncharted 4.
Wait, like when you started playing it, or before leading up to this release?
That too. But after I've started playing it, I've kind of remembered why I like Uncharted games. The shooting is few and far between. Honestly, it's as far as the game starts in where were they, in India?
Yeah.
I guess they're still in India technically, but it starts in like the city, like a major city in India. What's up, Chris?
Crispy
I was like,
Cake
you climbed to the top of that tower and were like, yeah, sniper rifle, this is perfect, and jumped down and like beat a guy with it. Like,
It's a very heavy gun.
This will be perfect to bash people's skulls in.
perfect.
Well, yeah, you can do whatever you want in an Uncharted game. But
So open.
it is, yeah. But yeah, so it starts off like any Uncharted game, very story driven. Kind of, it drops you in the middle of nowhere. You don't really know what's going on. This was the original gameplay that we saw from the PlayStation conference when everyone
they
was like,
announced
"Oh,
this
it's
game.
Tomb Raider! It's Tomb Raider!"
It was actually kind of cool when you think about it, the way they announced this game, because they did that entire first segment of the game when they announced it, but they for Chloe's character model they hit
her in a cloak.
They
like
put her in the.
Yeah, those cloaks aren't in the actual game.
No, they were, because at this point you're supposed to know who it is. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was really cool.
So anyway, like I was
I
saying,
had a thought and I lost it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's fine. So the beginning of the game, very story driven. It's them kind of planning out. Oh, we're looking for this sacred
tusk
thing,
of Ganesh.
the tusk of Ganesh. And so and then they go off and they do their adventures, and that's what's going on. And so it leads to this very open area, which kind of is a drawback.
I think it's
for
called
me.
the Western.
Drawback. Hold on.
The Western Ghats.
The Western Ghats is the map. I hate having to stop what I'm doing to pull up the map. Now, don't get me wrong. The map is great. I love it conceptually. It's just, I wish it was a little quicker to bring up.
Yeah, it does take.
Because if you're driving a car and you're like, wait, do I take a left or right here? You have to, because we were talking about how there's 11 things in this area.
You should be able to, like Far Cry 2, drive
Yes,
with
I
their
wish you
map
could
out.
drive with the map out. Because you can't, like, fucking die. And if
I think the
you
problem
respawn
is,
right
like,
away.
you bring up Far Cry, but, like, this is a very big open area, but the world of Far Cry is, like, massive. Like, you could drive for miles without hitting anything. This, while open and easily the biggest map in Uncharted... What the fuck happened here? The biggest map in Uncharted, like, it's still fairly dense. Like, if you drive... If you drive without looking up for, 10 seconds, you're probably going to hit a tree or a wall or
There's
something.
not too many straight shots in this
Can
game.
I say, though, that I think this should be... I think they've made a lot of Uncharted games. I really don't want this
3.
series to go into... What?
They've made... Well,
This is the 5th one.
you're counting the Vita one and the... Wait,
Okay, the 6th one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 6th Uncharted game.
wait, where are the other ones?
There's
What are you talking about?
Uncharted,
There's 4 and then this
2,
and then
Oh,
4.
I'm sorry. I
this.
completely forgot about 4 for a second.
Jesus Christ. But what I'm saying is, like, I think they need to make sure they don't run into the problem that, like, God of War had and Gears of War had and fucking Halo or
Where they don't
whatever.
reinvent themselves?
They need to, like, take this idea and I think run with it. I think they need to make an open world Uncharted game.
That'd be great.
I mean, I am
Because
having a great time
I
exploring
think
this.
this is them, like, experimenting with that. And
I
I
mean,
think it
they
needs to
did
be
kinda-
about, navigation and
they
maps
did
and
kind of-
finding the secrets in the world instead of the kind of jet-setting adventure that it typically
There is also a kind of an open area in Uncharted 4, but I don't think it's nearly as densely packed with
not.
this as
No, not at all.
with stuff to discover, which I think is great. I'm having a really good time spending. Like, I'm in Chapter 3, which is where this area opens up, and I'm spending a lot of time and the puzzles you solve and the things you go do are great. And I think I've always been. I spoke about this when I was talking about Uncharted 4. I've never been a huge fan of the combat in Uncharted, and I think, although I did think it was the best it's ever been in 4, but I think it's kind of downplayed a little bit in this game, which is nice. At least so far.
There's definitely a lot less gunplay than there is exploration and
smaller
puzzle
packs
solving.
of dudes,
Yeah, you'll
which is good.
only so often come across a group of dudes that you have to dispatch.
Yeah.
I mean, towards later on, you're going to start finding a few more, but it's nothing like huge. I think the most dudes I've ever fought at
Like,
once
it
is
ain't
maybe
Uncharted
like 7 or
1,
8.
where it's
too
like
long.
Yeah,
half
no,
of a
it is.
continent, the population of like an entire continent somehow located on this island, and you're murdering them all.
Yeah.
But I mean, first of all, I think one thing that's important to note here, because a lot of people are under the impression this is just DLC for Uncharted 4, and I think
It's
it goes
not.
way beyond that, because
Yeah, it's not DLC.
this feels like a fully featured game.
It is.
How many hours have you spent with it? Like,
So I
far?
casted it for about 2.5 hours maybe the other night, and then I played maybe another. I played maybe 4 hours last night.
yeah, so it's probably about an 8 to 10 hour game.
Yeah, it's pretty girthy for what it is. I mean, honestly, like the original Uncharted, you can beat that game in like
4 hours.
yeah, if even. Yeah, it's actually a very short game. This, once again, I don't know where I'm at in the story. I know I'm on chapter 7. I don't know how many chapters there are. So it could be fairly long. I don't know. But
Most people, I think, are saying they're finishing it in about 8 hours on average, which is...
Well, the thing is, I have been doing a little more exploration and stuff than maybe an average person, since I am a fan of the series.
When can I chime in about the exploration?
Whenever you want.
Because I think it's great that, like, they have this big open area, and I think what the Uncharted series is really lacking, which it needs. I think, if you're going to take an open world direction, or maybe like a Metroidvania type direction or whatever, I think open-ended, but I think they really, really need to improve the rewards that the player finds when they kind of go off the beaten path, because
Yeah.
finding treasures sucks.
I mean,
It's something to read, and that's nice, but it doesn't feel like a real
something to
reward.
read.
You can read about the treasure.
Yeah,
There's
or
a
you
little
look at
blurb
it or
about
whatever.
or
Every
you can-
time I get a trailer, I can just look at it.
Whatever. I mean,
Well, I mean,
even less
there's-
so. What I'm
yeah.
saying
It
is,
gives
like,
you the
there
name of
needs
it
to
and
be
you can
some
look at
real
it.
tangible reward that makes you want to find that stuff. You know, like maybe let you upgrade some weapons, or,
I mean, here-
or
okay.
upgrade your character a little
Let me-
bit.
let me kinda-
a little bit of the RPG in there, because they've had like the littlest of. Like absolutely zero of it. Like almost any game that comes out these days has a little bit. This
Can I slip in
series
here?
has always
Can I slip
had
in right
zero.
there?
Go
This is
for
a
it.
perfect moment to slip in here, because the one thing that I think stands out about this game for me so far is that, and this is not exactly what you were talking about, but you mentioned the lock picking a while ago.
Yeah.
If you most combat encounters, you can sneak around and find those cases where you can lockpick. And if you can find the right moment to sneak in there and pick that lock, you can get silenced
Sometimes they'll have
pistol.
silenced weapons.
Almost everyone that I've picked so far has had a silenced pistol in it, which is my favorite weapon in the game so far. And I've been playing a lot of this game stealthily because I've been trying to conserve ammo and use that silenced
isn't The
pistol
Last of Us,
as
Nick.
much as possible. And I think I tweeted about this the other night. I feel like this is the first time they've really used silenced guns, but I think there was one in. Someone said there was one sequence in maybe Uncharted 3 that used a silenced pistol, and
I
that's
believe
about
so,
it.
yeah.
But like I've been using it pretty much as
But what
often
does
as
that-
I can,
What does that have to do with my?
because it rewards you for exploring a little bit.
but it's like
And-
every other Uncharted game where you run out of ammo and you see
Hold on, Brett.
another weapon.
I
and you're
wanted-
like, well,
I
I'll
wanted
use
to
this for a
say
while.
that-
That's why I said not exactly.
Going
what you're
off
talking
of
about.
that, going off of your statement, I feel like they could take a little clue from like The Last of Us, where when you explore areas more, you might find parts that you wouldn't have found if you didn't explore, and you use those parts to upgrade your weapons. And I don't know why they haven't. I've definitely seen influence on Uncharted 4 and this that they've taken from The Last of Us, but that's one they didn't, unfortunately.
But now's the time though for Uncharted to start doing some like heavy
I agree.
experimentation, because I don't think they could just put out another Uncharted game.
Honestly,
And-
I
and
hope
like-
this is
and
kind
like-
of. I hope this is kind of all we see of Uncharted for a while. I
Yeah,
hope
for
we
sure.
see it.
Or
I hope it
they
resurfaces
expand
again
on
in like
what they're
3 or 4
doing.
years, and it's dramatically different.
Well,
But-
I'm assuming they're going to take a break after this since they're working on The Last of Us.
Like
too.
look what they're doing with God of War.
Yeah.
You know, like get crazy because it's time.
I agree.
But yeah, I am really enjoying this for sure.
I definitely I enjoyed the puzzles in this game. There was one that kind of frustrated me, and it's a silly thing, but it's like it's kind of early on. You do some puzzles. I don't know. It's one of the 3 temple things you have to go to.
Yeah.
That involves jumping on the bunch of platforms,
Yeah.
and if you mistime it, like a statue will like hit you, and you have to restart.
Ooh.
Like my big problem with that is like the entire puzzle is set off by you stepping on like an initial platform, which will raise everything else, and your goal is to jump across from platform to the last one to get out.
Yeah.
Why can't you stand on the last one and Nadine just step on that platform? She just fucking stands
But
there
is
and
it
does
fun to do?
nothing. No, it's fun.
Well, it's just good because like I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
I also would like to see more like actual involved platforming and have it less be just a way to kind of navigate around the world. Have it maybe like be a little bit higher stakes, a little more challenging, a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Because Uncharted 4, I feel like had a problem where you had these extended sequences where you're just climbing around on shit, which was giving you opportunity for like Drake to like talk to his brother and shit, but like it really wasn't all that engaging. Like Enslaved is another game that had like completely like no low stakes platforming, and it was just there just to be there. Like do more fun platforming stuff, because I think that adds a lot of space.
I do like how they.
it's doing it.
I do like that they took the what do they call it? The swinging mechanic?
The
here.
rope swinging,
Yeah,
yeah.
they took that from Uncharted 4 and ran with it, which is cool. That you
Yeah,
can
no,
kind of
it's
use it
good.
wherever you want and navigate this big open space.
The
which is
one thing
cool.
that kind of sucks, and I guess it wasn't technically in Uncharted 4, but in the multiplayer, you can use the rope as a melee weapon, and I wish
nice.
that was in this.
Yeah, I noticed that.
There was
What?
I thought I had something I wanted to say. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, this is a pretty straightforward Uncharted experience. But I think it's definitely, because there's been a few. Has there been more Uncharted spin-offs other than what's the one on the Vita? I played
Golden
the one.
Abyss.
I played
Golden
Golden Abyss on Vita, and I thought that was like kind of. I don't want to say dreadful, but like it was just.
You had to do a bunch of the touch bullshit.
I mean, it wasn't even the touch bullshit. It was
stuff.
just like every environment looked the same. The story was just not that interesting, and I think it kind of lacked all of the soul and the heart that makes Uncharted great. And that might be a little bit of an overstatement, but I feel like this is definitely a step up from that. Obviously, I think this definitely feels like a natural continuation of Uncharted 4, and I find it. I think the combat continues to be really, really fun, and I think Chloe is a fantastic character.
She is.
I'm not necessarily sold yet on Nadine as, like we said, as a great.
So I will say that the farther you get in the game, they actually later on start adding more story.
Yeah.
Because early on there's not too much, but towards the end, like I don't know if I'm, like I said, I don't know if I'm at the end. Chapter 7.
Yeah.
In chapter like 5 and 6 is when you start getting some more like. I don't want to say like Last of Us style, or I guess even Uncharted style, where they're like kind of have some downtime and they're talking about what's going on, and they have that big encounter and run, and then we made it and we're huffing and breathing, and we're talking about something, that kind of stuff, and you do actually start to learn a little more about the characters.
There's been some cool. Don't get me wrong. There's been some cool banter that I've heard so far, and like something alluding, like I think Chloe said something to Nadine about how do you know, like. When after you kind of first meet the villain or whatever, and she says something like, "How do you know him?" or whatever, and then she's talking about like how her, because she's very kind of tomboyish or whatever, and she says something about how her like feminine charm suited her, were like helpful to her at one point when she was interacting with that guy, and she's like, "Tell me more," and she's like, "There's not enough alcohol in the world," and then she just kind of kept like trying to poke at her to get her to like, "Tell me more about this story. I want to hear about this," and like that stuff is pretty cool so far. So. I don't know. I'm digging it. I'm enjoying it. I kind of hope Nadine kind of comes into her own a little bit and becomes more of an interesting character. But I'm really enjoying Chloe a lot so far. And my God, Nolan, I'm gonna go ahead and give you props on the photo mode. You've been taking fantastic advantage of that. I didn't even realize you could change your expression on the photo mode, and that
Nick,
is
you can change where the sun is in the sky.
Yeah.
You can change and like I'm like extremely impressed by this photo mode thing, and I hope other games maybe start doing it. It's really simple.
There was one in Hellblade. There was one in Horizon. Like,
for
it's
those that
becoming
don't
a thing.
know, at least in this photo mode, at any time during cutscenes, whenever you can pause everything and you can change the facial expressions of the characters. You can change the color tone. You can change if characters are or aren't in the background. You can change the camera angle sometimes. During certain cutscenes you can't. You can change, like I said, like facial expressions. You can change where the sun is in the sky. You can there's like so many things you can change.
It's a pretty elaborate photo mode. And in Hellblade, I know you could remove enemies and stuff if there was enemies in your shot. I don't know how. I didn't play with it a whole lot, but like, yeah, it's definitely cool. And this game, by the way, looks fucking incredible. It kind of makes me sad that I didn't have my 4K TV when I was playing Uncharted 4. But god damn, it looks so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say about it right now. By this time next week, I'm sure most of us on this couch will have finished it.
No, with the length of the game, and if and that's kind of one of the things is I wasn't playing it the other day, and then I was like, why am I not just like, I have it, I'm just gonna like sit through it and play. I think I was gonna play some VR or something. And I was like, you know what? Let me just knock out Uncharted. I know I'm gonna enjoy it. Let me kind of put the kibosh on it, and because I might, who knows if I want to replay it or something. One cool thing they added in this is, Brad, you were saying you wish they gave you more for like the sign. I don't know, like you can collect a bunch of stuff in that big open area, and if you do, you gain like a bracelet jewel thing that when you're near those useless treasures, the jewel will glow red and vibrate the controller to let you know they're nearby, which is a cool concept. Turn that off? You can.
Okay.
That's another cool thing. Yeah, you can go as soon as you get it. It says this is what it does. You can turn it off.
But like that's like the first thing in the whole Uncharted series that I think you get.
Yeah, no, definitely.
As a thing.
Like, but hey, they're adding something. They're like taking steps in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right. There's a couple other games. Let's see how we're doing. A couple of little games I want to talk about before we take the break. I know you have a VR game you want to talk about for sure. Real briefly, though, we all, last week, after the podcast, we played Superhot VR.
Yup.
On Brad's recommendation.
God dang.
I feel like y'all were kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever, Brad. We'll try.
No, as soon as you started explaining it, I was all on board.
This guy especially was like straight up calling me out, saying like, that sounds like every VR experience.
No, I didn't.
You said that.
I did.
You said that.
No, I didn't. Well, I mean, like, Like every VR game, and we've talked about this before, like it's one thing to look at a video of it, it's one thing to like hear somebody explain it, but
on.
like you really have to like
Until
put
you're in
fucking
it,
on.
yeah.
It's not that I didn't think the concept was flimsy, because Superhot on its own is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
By the way, that was my first time playing Superhot. Period.
But like you really have to you just have to fucking do it. You have to feel it before you can really like believe it, you know?
yeah, no, it's
And I believe it.
yeah, that was a holy
y'all-
shit experience.
I think most of y'all left before it happened, but Brad was talking about the ability to like throw guns and stuff. And there was one stage we were playing in like a graveyard where when you finish an area and you teleport, there's 3 dudes in front of you with their shotguns. I was able to throw myself a gun, turn around and grab it. So as soon as they were there, I was able to take them out. Before, I had to wait for them. I had to wait a certain amount of time and then appear above them.
Yeah.
I didn't have to because I was able to throw myself a gun and turn around and catch it.
After you left last week, Brad, we started to experiment more with the whole, because there was that one where you could like, there was a window behind you, and before you warp to the next screen, you could like lean out the window and drop your gun,
something.
and then you cut out. But, like,
trust me, I know all.
I know, but we started to experiment with that. You were already gone, so we didn't really know exactly how it worked. So we were playing with it, and like that first moment when we finally managed to like pass ourselves the gun and then grab it, and then like that.
Take out a dude,
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that was fucking amazing. Like. Just the like, one of my favorite levels that I played was the one where it starts you out and there's kind of like the shurikens that are stuck on the wall, whatever, and you're picking up the shurikens, you're throwing them, and then like turning the gun and shooting dudes.
In that game.
Dude, I left like I think that might be. I know you were having some trouble with that. It might be my favorite part.
Hold on, yeah. So I agree early on.
It's hard.
I think
It's
it's because
fucking
I was
hard,
told the controls wrong, so I was pressing the wrong buttons. But I've beaten the game now, and the more you get used to throwing things, and you get actually really good at it. Yeah.
But man, but like, I never thought I'd be able to feel that way.
Oh man, like there's so many feelings. There's so many things you do in video games, or like in paintball, or I mean, like blind firing is not something you do in first person games, really, like in an intuitive way.
Yeah.
But like blind firing makes so much sense.
One of my favorite things in this game, I feel
Intuitive
like
sense.
one of the things that made me feel like such a badass in this game was like, there's one where you start in the middle of the room and you're being flanked on both sides, and I look down, I pick up two guns off the counter, and I literally did one of those like arms out in both directions.
You get a Chivo for that,
and without even looking, just like pop, 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 and then just like that feeling of like hitting dudes. Also, there's the one where there's a guy coming down the stairs, there's a guy coming to you from the left, and you just point straight ahead, and then with submachine guns, and then just like hold the trigger down and just like spray your arms out in either direction, like. Oh my god!
Like
no game has ever made me feel cooler.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in MacGruber where he gets like the two Mac 10s.
It was like
So there was this one level later on in the game. Some of the later levels get pretty difficult.
yeah.
And like it got to the point where I was getting frustrated, but I had fucking nailed like the first 3. So it starts off and you have 2 knives. And there's 2 dudes on each of your sides. So you pick up the knives and smash them, and then you grab the button.
love the knives.
And then there's the next one. You're on there's like a guy running on like a catwalk, and then 2 guys in front of you, and just nailed down where they're gonna be shooting them. And then the third one, all it is a guy in front of you with a shotgun. And you got to take it from him and shoot him, and then shoot the guys above you. And it's just like when you like nail like the sequences down.
Just reaching out like
Equilibrium.
out in VR and like just grabbing a gun out of
Stealing a gun
someone's
from
hand
someone.
is like so sad.
Or even just like throwing random items like in the path of bullets just to like keep yourself alive for
Oh
a
my
couple
God.
seconds.
So
it's
I
so
will
good.
say that when you beat the game, it unlocks a bunch of new modes, and there's like endless mode where literally it's just dudes until
Dude,
you
I
die.
feel like I could play that all day.
But the thing is, like, it starts you, and you just have butcher knives.
Do they have-
And they start coming at you, but then they have guns, and so all you have are butcher knives. So I'm like literally slicing bullets in half as they're coming to me, like trying to like get to these guys.
Some of my favorite moments are when you actually feel like Neo from the Matrix when he stops the bullets.
You missed
and
it
you
when
just
I
start
did
like
that.
blocking bullets with your gun.
Brad,
Like-
you had already left, but like it's one of the rooms like, huh? No, like the room where you spend in the room and there's 3 guys with guns. And they start shooting, and I literally did the Neo like
we sat here and watched
yeah,
Nolan
no, I've done
literally
that too. I've done that
lean
too.
backwards like fucking Neo from the Matrix, and we're like, oh my god,
oh my god, it's working.
No, I more meant the Neo when he like stopped the
stop
bullets.
with your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was,
Oh, for sure. I think you even get an achievement for doing the Neo.
dude. I would.
yeah.
I
At least
feel
I
like
got it.
I feel like this needs to become like the thing is, Superhot allows for this kind of like, in my opinion, like revolutionary design and like feeling because of the fact that time only moves when you're moving.
Yeah.
If you take that out of it, I don't know if they could read, because I was immediately thinking about like
Superhot is a brilliant idea.
like what if
Superhot VR is the perfect expression of that.
yeah, but I'm like, I started thinking like, oh man, what if this is like what Time Crisis became or something, and I was like, but no,
that's very Time Crisis.
but like if you take out the whole
Time.
stopping when you move, when you don't move, like suddenly I feel like that whole thing kind of falls apart.
So
I don't think
there
you'd be
is
able
a
to do it.
mode
Still
that
fun.
is like real time mode. Now, granted, time still stops when you stop, but the goal of that mode is to play as
play
if
fast.
time didn't stop. So you have to
Stopping.
constantly be moving. Like you have 23 seconds in the one I
Yeah.
played to beat the level, which means you can't stop. And so that, but I like I said, I played with some of those modes after I finished the game, and those are like really fun. Like kind of messing with that kind of stuff.
my
I think
God.
there's a speed run of this from Austin Games Done Quick.
Oh really?
Oh my god,
I think.
dude! It was funny because like the day that we played this last Thursday or Friday, whatever it was, I had been talking to Robin, and her mom was like, "I've never, I'd like to try VR. That sounds really cool." And she was like, "Oh well, Nick has a VR. Maybe you could try like Until Dawn or something." And I was like, as soon as we finished this, I was like, "Fuck that!" Anytime I'm trying to recommend VR to anybody, this is hands down what you showed them,
This is the new.
Or
So-
without a doubt.
maybe the other game no one played.
And so
Or
the
that.
other game that I played,
Which is one I really want to play.
Bernadette's
Yeah, me too.
mom actually played the other day. Bernadette sent me
Really?
some video of her mom playing the game. Yeah.
Nice.
So she got her
This was
Oh,
on
I'd like to play
this
it
game
more,
was on the
but-
demo disc, but I couldn't play because I didn't have the move controllers at
controllers,
the time. So
Anyway, so the game we're talking about is Job Simulator. I ended up picking that up because it was this weekend. Bernadette actually had the weekend off, so we got to spend some time together. And she's like, "Oh, let's play some VR." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I kind of scrolled through the PlayStation Store. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, what's good?" There was some games I saw. I Expect You to Die was one I kind of wanted to get, but I knew a little more about Job Simulator, and I knew it had more to it, so I picked up that one. So Job Simulator has 4 different jobs you can do. You can do office employee. You can do chef, which is what I'm doing in the footage. You can do like an auto repairman, and then you can do like a cashier. I said 2 minutes into the footage, Chris Davis. 2 minutes into the footage.
out of the play area.
Yeah. Or like grocery store, like like convenience store attendant. And man, is it fun just to dick around in this world?
That's like the point of this
yeah,
game,
dude.
right?
It's like you like a guy comes and he's like, oh, like I want this, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm just gonna throw an egg on the grill.
That's how you make eggs.
Yeah, it just kind of like when you
Couldn't you put a pan on the stove before you?
why? What for? Like in the grocery store, like people would be like, "Oh, can I have one of these?" And I would ring up like 10 of them and just put one in the bag, and like the register would say like $4,000.
One for you, 9 for me.
The whole premise of this game is that it's like a historical
Yes.
recreation of like what jobs used to be like.
Correct. So this is the future, and there are robots, and they're like, "Oh, this is how a
Post-scarcity
human."
utopia.
Yeah, this is how a human job would be. We are simulating blah blah blah, and so that's what you do. And once again, this one I'm a chef, and so of course I'm like eating all the food, and then like later on I find you can throw food into like the fish tank, and the fish will eat it.
Dude,
So
the
I'm like,
visual style in this game kind of reminds me of Quadrilateral Cowboy. a little bit.
yeah, it's similar. And it's just a bunch of random tasks.
Eat the lemon.
Yeah, you can do whatever. This one's just like
You can
blend
eat
some
the
shit.
lemons?
You can eat anything. That's food. I put some meatballs in the
meatballs,
blender.
Sure, that's what they are.
What else are they?
They're
You got-
poos.
are you-
Oh yes.
Oh, you
please.
didn't put the top back on the thing when you.
What for? Put my hand in there.
Oh my goodness.
But no, and that's like the best thing. Like there is like in the automotive one I played, you can it's a guy bringing their car into the shop, and it's like, oh, I need this fixed or I need this fixed, and there was this one guy I literally just took everything out of his car. I took the wheels from his car. I took the pistons out of the engine. I took everything, and I did what he asked me to do. And he's like, "Thanks," and he starts driving away, and the car's like, it's like trying to drive away.
Did you broadcast this?
No, I haven't broadcasted it yet. I was going to Tuesday, but I played Uncharted instead.
Yeah.
I probably will broadcast this at some point. I'm not done with the VR. There's still some things I need to play on it. But I took this guy's pipe and I smoke his pipe. It's kind of hard. The camera was not handling it well, but you can smoke.
You totally smoked the
and
pipe.
it makes the noise when you do it. You can also take like hats off of people. Oh my god, dude! In the convenience store, there's like a jumbo sizer, which is a machine. If you put anything in, it makes it big. I stole a cowboy hat off a guy, put it in there, made it big, and I put it on my head. And you can like see the brim of the cowboy hat on your head. You can like take glasses off people and put them on. It's really fun. Like I guarantee you, we will be seeing more of this game. I put some soap. I'm making tea right now, but I put some soap in there first. This is actually before I adjusted the camera. The camera was pointing way too high, so if I ever did anything low, it kind of freaked out. And somewhere in this footage, you'll see the camera start freaking out because it's Bernadette walking in front of me to like point the camera farther down.
Man, I want to play more VR stuff.
It's pretty good.
I really,
I gotta make sure you do your research, find out which ones are the dope ones.
which
No,
ones
no,
are
I
good,
know. I mean,
yeah.
I'm just saying. I want to see. This is like, going into VR. Before this year, when we started playing more of these things. I was worried that not worried. It was more of just like I didn't think VR was going to be fun or going to be a thing. I thought it was going to be like a passing phase, and like I wasn't going to be interested in it. I was just be like, all right, enough of this. Can we get back to just the regular games, please? Because that's what I'm into.
Yeah.
But like, dude, there's so much.
Don't get me
there's so
wrong,
many
Nick,
possibilities.
as of now, a lot of what's out there is pretty gimmicky.
Yeah,
it's in my opinion, $400 pretty steep.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying, I'm hoping because Resident Evil 7, we got. I mean, I consider Superhot VR, while it is kind of quote unquote gimmicky, it is also an extension of a game that was an indie game that we played last year, which was great.
Yep.
And I'm really looking forward to Moss, which is going to be a full blown game.
Yeah.
Like there's just we're seeing it's trickling out, but I'm hoping that next year we see more, and then the year after that more, because I want to see what the fuck this hardware is really capable of.
I do want to cast this because there were definitely a lot of fun moments in the game. Like at one point, this guy comes up and he's like, "All right, this is very important." And then I reach over to that. There's a radio right there in the corner, and I press play on it, and I literally turn up the volume all the way, and so it's all I can hear is the music, and he's talking to me, and I have like no idea what he's saying. And he's like, "All right, you got it," and then I had no idea, so I just started making some random shit. I don't know. The writing in this game is fairly clever, which definitely adds an element to it. Like in the grocery store, you get held up, and the guy's like, "Give me all your cheese," and you open the safe, and it's just full of cheese, and he literally wants you to give him all your cheese. I don't know. It's pretty fun. I'm looking. I haven't played the Office Worker. I've only dabbled in the automotive one. Bernadette played actually a lot of it too. So I'm looking forward to playing more of this. I'm definitely going to be checking out.
It looks like it'd be a great feed game.
Oh yeah, totally. I want to play. I Expect You to Die.
I want to play that.
Which is it's kind of the whole James Bond thing. Like I expect you get put into situations where it's like you're in a car and you open the glove box and there's like a bomb in there.
I expect you to
It's
die.
like a puzzle game.
I've never heard of that. That's
like an
awesome.
escape room kind of thing, almost.
Yeah, people like escape rooms bad. They're just point and click adventures.
What? I mean, but in VR, that's different.
But yeah, anyway, I definitely have I'm not done playing this. I'm gonna play more of it.
Did you just drink that boiling hot water?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
not? You can do whatever you want.
Fuck it.
There's later on.
I didn't play any of these games because they never fucking go on sale.
They didn't. I paid
they're
full
all,
price for it.
you
That's
know.
that's probably because there's not enough hardware out there to justify them selling.
Physical.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Also cost more. A lot of these are like more indie games.
They need all the sale. Like they need all the money they can get.
There was one point in
recoup
that
the
when
costs.
the health inspector was coming, so we had to clean up the restaurant and like get rid of some roaches, and I just ate them.
Oh!
And like my character started like barfing everywhere, like projectile vomiting.
The health inspector didn't care about that.
Nope. Oh
long
my
as-
god! When the health inspector came, I trashed the fucking place. Like he was like oh this, and I just started throwing food everywhere, and they were like, oh there's dirty dishes, clean them. I just started throwing the dishes in the sink, and they were like shattering. Like it's just fun
As
to
one
like, just
does.
mess around in that game. Yeah.
As one does.
Yeah, you can in the automotive one you can hang air fresheners from the mirror, but you can hang anything. So it's like hanging tires from like the rear view mirror. Yeah.
Oh man.
What?
Yep.
Let's see how we're doing on time. Just real quick, and this is actually you don't need to run footage for this or anything, because I finished 2 games on the same night.
Wow.
Same night. I finished Observer, which is the game I talked about last week. Pretty cool. Although I will tell you this, having played the first hour or 2 of Observer, I was really excited about the prospect of it being kind of like a investigative simulation, right? As the game progresses, it kind of shifts away from that, becomes more of a straight up horror game.
Like Funhouse.
I wouldn't quite call it. Yeah, I mean, kind of.
And you finished that on your new PC?
I did finish that on the new PC. Good. Broadcasted it too. Worked out great. Although I will say the game seems like it might. I was a little nervous because that was my first PC game playing it on my new PC while broadcasting, and I started to notice it was kind of framey in places.
It was probably poorly optimized.
That's what I'm
Unity
hoping,
game.
because I booted up Talos Principle, ran it on ultra high settings, and it was like smooth as fucking
fuck that,
butter.
Dude. Boot up Heavenly Blade, whatever the fuck that game's called.
Hellblade?
Yeah, Hellblade.
I mean, I don't own it on
Man.
PC, so I was trying to find the most graphically. I don't have a lot of stuff on PC, but yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of a
The
poor.
Witcher? You could try
because there were certain parts of Observer that ran better than others, so I'm assuming it's just an optimization issue. I knocked it down to medium and it ran fine. But yeah, it just kind of shifts. That game becomes. It started out, I was like, oh my god, this could be like the perfect like cyberpunk / like condemned investigative game, because that's the way it kind of felt in the first 2 hours, and then slowly it just kind of devolves into becoming more of like Amnesia. I mean, I feel like it's a step above like Layers of Fear, where it literally was just kind of a fun house, but it starts to become more and more like Amnesia by the end of the game, and it kind of just completely forgets about the investigative stuff. So that was kind of a disappointment, but I think it goes in some cool places. There's some cool story stuff that it does, and the ending is pretty, in my opinion, it was pretty, I didn't see it coming, and I thought it was pretty cool. So that's Observer. I still recommend checking it out. And I finished Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. And the only thing I want to say about that, because it's Wolfenstein, there's not a whole lot to add about that, and it's a 2 or 3 year old game. But I got to the final boss, the only boss essentially in Wolfenstein. Maybe not the only boss, but final boss. If people were watching my broadcast, they know what I'm talking about. You get to the very end of that game.
Hitler.
No, not it's just like a big fucking monster.
Hitler?
But fucking. I was like, oh, I'm doing great. I was like pacing myself out. I was like, I'll be able to finish the second game tonight. And I was like, as long as I'm done by about midnight, 12:15, I can still get sleep at a decent hour. I walked into the boss room about midnight, whatever. I was like, this is gonna, knock it out in the bag, done with the game. Fucking took me an hour to beat this boss. It was the most ridiculous bullshit. And it wasn't until someone came to chat, I can't remember who it was, who recommended, of all things, because it was a big monster. He like opens his mouth and you can like throw grenades into it and like shoot it with like a grenade launcher or whatever. And every time you hit its mouth, it would like fire or explode out of his mouth, and it looked like it's taking damage. I figured that's doing a lot of damage, so keep doing that. So I kept trying to do that, but getting grenades into his mouth was really fucking hard because he's always moving his head. And I was like, this thing just won't fucking die. And then someone comes in the chat and was like, oh, if you dual wield assault rifles, you can just unload on it and kill it in like 5 seconds. Yeah. And I did that, and I was like, oh my god. Like I didn't even think to use like just a fucking assault rifle on it, but it fucking worked like a charm.
Yeah.
I can't, oh yeah, it was Taco Trucks. Thank you.
Figure.
Taco Trucks came in the chat and was like, hey, dual wielding the assault rifle will just kill it super fast. And after like 45 minutes of beating my head against a wall, I took that boss down. Just what an...
Did you know Hitler killed himself?
What an unfortunate, weird way to end that game.
What a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
He's like the ultimate Nazi, too.
You don't say.
Wait, you're telling me Hitler is the ultimate Nazi?
Yeah, and he killed himself.
Like a bitch.
Like a
All right.
dumb bitch.
Thank you for... this has been History with Brad.
History with Brad.
All right.
I have a degree.
We need to take a quick break. We'll come back and I don't know. We may have do we have any other games to talk about? Probably not. Nah. So we'll do news and answer some questions from our supporters on Patreon. So if you're watching us live, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Time for news. Video game news. And I'm just going to let Chris Davis hit us with some news topics.
Okay.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Where'd that come from? Oh, okay. Guys, is it just me or did Gamescom kind of suck?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not super surprising.
No, I mean, usually
Sometimes there's some announcements,
usually there's some pretty
man.
big
This was
announcements.
shit.
Dude, PT was announced at Gamescom, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Or was that the PlayStation Experience? I don't remember.
I
think it was
PlayStation.
Gamescom.
No, I think it was Gamescom.
Yeah, I think it was
I think you're
Gamescom.
I thought it was later in the year that we were doing that whole
But
PT stream.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I can't remember. Point is, usually there's something interesting coming out of Gamescom, but there really wasn't a whole lot. Biomutant was the first one of the only major surprises of the show, which is essentially an open world action RPG from ex-developers from Just Cause, Mad Max, from Avalanche. This is actually a THQ Nordic game, and I'm gonna say this. I think the cinematic trailer they showed looks really cool, and then I started seeing some gameplay, and it's like, this looks kinda budget.
Yeah.
Kind of budget. Like, the environments don't look all that great. Like, it looks like conceptually it was, and from what I've read about it and from some of the gameplay I've seen, it seemed to be kind of focused on, like, it's like this weird fantasy world, like, and you can, like, change your bio makeup or whatever, like, on the fly. Like, you can change, like, you could, like, in the trailer, like, he, like, touches this, like, fog and it, like, starts mutating his arm, which then I think is supposed to give you new abilities and stuff like that, but, like, you do it on the fly, like, in the, like, I don't know. I haven't heard much of impressions coming out of the show. It's gonna be at PAX, and I'm hoping Ed, because Ed's gonna be there, I'm hoping Ed has a chance to play this. But,
Evil
like,
Within 2 is going to be playable there. Oh.
playable for sure.
Yeah, playable.
God damn it. But I don't know. I saw the cinematic trailer. I was like, this looks really fucking cool. And then, because, like, the trailer had a lot of
That's
style.
why they show you the cinematic trailer.
Yeah,
first,
and then,
Nick.
like, immediately saw the gameplay. I was like, oh,
They
this
hope
looks
you
rough.
see the cinematic trailer, pre-order the game, and forgot that you pre-ordered it, and then you just get it, and then...
It looks kind of rough, but
I mean, I think
It also could be
kinda
early.
compelling.
I mean, it could be. I mean, to be honest, it's hard to say just based off of, like, it's like a 1 minute gameplay trailer, which doesn't really tell you a whole lot about what the actual game is. I'm hoping this could be like, because I don't think Recore as an example of a game, I don't think necessarily looks like the most visually striking game, but I think the gameplay is there. And
By the way, the definitive edition is coming out at the end of the month, and
That's
it's going to be free for people who already owned it.
that's pretty cool.
And they're
I do
actually
own it.
finishing the
Yeah.
game. They're putting in the robot that's supposed to be in there the first time
Oh god.
around, and there's some other new stuff. But I'm going to play all that stuff because I like Recore a lot.
I think your mic's a little far from your mouth or something.
I'm
Or-
just not speaking that loud, Nick.
You should.
I like Recore a lot. I'm excited about the new content and the robot and the definitive edition.
I'm regretting this. Okay. Thank you, Brad. What else we have? Chris Davis?
In the news.
Oh, there's another game that was announced at Gamescom, which was maybe the more exciting of the two, possibly, in my opinion, personally. They announced a Jurassic World game.
What?
Yeah, I saw
You didn't see
that.
this?
Yeah.
It's
It's not going to be good.
Jurassic World Evolution.
Is it by Telltale?
No, it's Frontier Developments. It's a park simulation game. It's from the guys who made
Frontier.
Planet Coaster.
Wait.
This is
Kinda like that
This
old
is straight up. What is it?
Jurassic Park Operation Genesis.
Yeah. This is like that.
Whoa. Wait, isn't Frontier? Don't they also do Space Sim? Space Sim? What's the Space Sim?
Kerbal?
No, the Space Sim.
You gotta give us more than that.
You fucking Elite Dangerous.
Oh, okay.
Elite
Yeah.
Dangerous?
Yeah.
Okay.
Elite
that the one you're
Dangerous
thinking
and
of?
Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
Which
So
fucking Frontier.
they're making a
They've been around
Jurassic
forever.
Park game, and like the trailer, looks kind of cool. I've actually never really played a game
Well,
of
the
that.
trailer's all pre-rendered.
Yeah.
Shit.
Sure. But I think of the two new announcements from Gamescom, I think this looks like the more interesting one, potentially. I mean,
I am fucking shocked at how many people are like self-identifying as like closeted Operation Genesis fans at the announcement of this trailer.
are they?
Yes, like go look at the fucking trailer
Isn't
on
that
YouTube
supposed
and
to
read
be
the
like-
comics.
like
all the comments are just
underrated-
like, "Oh my god, it's so fucking good! I can't believe we're getting another Operation Genesis." And like there'll be one or two people in there who are like, "Man, I really think Jurassic Park needs a first-person shooter," and everyone's like, "Fuck fuck you. We need more Operation Genesis.
Isn't that game supposed to be kind of not only underrated but like super
It was-
expensive and rare?
When I worked at GameStop, it was super rare. It was
Yeah.
like $50 when the copy came in.
Yeah, right.
Dude, I
These
remember
days it's
renting
probably
that
like
game.
$100.
I remember renting that game from Blockbuster and playing it and being like, yeah, it's kind of
What's
cool.
a blockbuster?
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, you did
I'm
what?
pretty sure that
Back
game
when
was like,
DVD was the cutting edge of video
they're-
technology.
Nick,
So-
they're very closely
PS2.
related to Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, I see the extinction thing.
It's kind of like a red box that you go into.
What? That don't make no sense. But yeah, Jurassic World Evolution coming out next year, I think. I don't know. I've never really played this kind of game. I've never played Roller Coaster Tycoon or any of that kind of stuff.
They can be fun. It's fun to essentially fuck shit up.
Yeah, but like that essentially makes it like. But this, you get to make a park now where the attractions will eat people. Yep. Like, is that? But here's my question. That sounds cool, but like, is the fun of these games rooted solely in the fact that you do it
It
specifically
depends
to
on the
fuck up?
person. Some people do it like because they have fun making the park and making it prosperous and playing by the rules and all this stuff. Other people have fun putting in cheat codes and just making roller coasters that launch up into the air and don't have like an ending and they just send people flying. Or making a roller coaster that ends at a walkway of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
You know, it just depends on the person.
But here's like, I'm thinking about, I've never played this kind of game, and I'm thinking about like, I think it might be cool to actually try and build a successful Jurassic Park, right?
You're
Right?
a nerd.
But then, Nick, you have to make sure you have enough bathrooms if people start shitting on the floor.
It's Jurassic Park. Where no
Can I
one
put
gets
dinosaurs
eaten.
in the bathrooms?
You could.
Is
maybe.
it gonna be a feature in the game of like
Here
fighting
it comes.
against the absolute
Here it
dangerous, gross incompetence that every employee at Jurassic Park has ever exhibited? Like that's like part of the game is
Yeah.
just like your employees are gonna do the worst, most dumbest thing possible, like forget to close the T-Rex paddock one day. Like
Maybe.
that should
Maybe.
be that
I mean,
should be a
that
feature
should be-
because that's
it
the
should be.
real Jurassic World experience.
Yep.
No, but,
Everyone
like,
who works there is
If you're in charge
stupid.
of hiring, what if it's like what if you actually have to like see who you're like hiring to like
Dude,
man
even the
these?
trailer like has a scene with like workers working on a fence, and then a T-Rex like eats one of them, and it's like, guys, there had to have been a better way to do whatever it is you're out here doing, because that looked way too easy on the T-Rex's part.
Yeah. Dude, everything you're saying makes me want to play this game more.
You might have fun with it.
It could be fun. I don't know. I might make this my first like park simulator. I don't know. It looks cool.
I've played plenty of Roller Coaster
And
Tycoon back in the day.
People were like losing their shit over it's from the Planet Coaster guys. Is Planet Coaster like critically acclaimed or something?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, then there we go. I am looking forward to it, and I think it's coming across on all platforms. It's not just PC. I think it's PS4 and Xbox One as well. Next, Chris Davis, we have. Oh, this is the weird one. What the fuck is this? Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 and Assassin's Creed are getting crossover DLC.
What the
Like
fuck?
both games are
I
getting
think both
different
games-
DLC crossovers.
Yeah, and I think in Final Fantasy 15, the DLC, Noctis becomes an assassin.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't
Even
even
like climbs around on shit.
They are trying so hard to make that game good.
like. First of all, like there's not even the same publisher
No,
or
but yeah, like,
developer.
why are
Why?
Square Enix and
I don't
Ubisoft
think this is the
just
first
being
time
like,
that this has happened either.
with
Money.
with these franchises?
They're trying to make money.
It is the weirdest combination I have ever seen.
There was Metal Gear in Assassin's Creed, right?
I think
Was
even Stranger is like we kind of have an idea of what the Final Fantasy 15 DLC is going to be because it's Noctis kind of becoming an assassin. But like, what the fuck is the Assassin's Creed DLC going to be? What is Noctis going, or like, what is Final Fantasy 15 going to introduce the Assassin's Creed side?
He's gonna have 1,000 weapons.
What the fuck? I don't know what the
He's
hell.
gonna be assassinating giant beasts.
This might be the weirdest news of the year. In my
Final
opinion.
Fantasy 15 is definitely a game that I remember enjoying playing when I played it, but the further I get away from it, I just think it's the lamest, worst game I've ever played in my life.
Brad.
No, but it's not. You didn't think that until you like finished it and you were
No,
the end
it's
sucked
not.
and
Right,
the last
right,
back
Right,
third
it's like
sucked.
how battered
But, like-
wives don't realize how abusive
I'm
their
saying-
husbands are
but I'm
until they
saying-
get away from them.
when you no when you were playing the game where I left off at,
Yes,
like you liked the game.
Brad. The gameplay is good.
dude, I don't need.
The story is horrible.
I don't
I-
care that the story's
Dude, I don't
my
even think
I
the story is
expect it
horrible.
to suck. I want it to suck.
I think
come on.
I think
Cut
what
it
you're
some slack, guys.
describing
Jesus.
is
Why
Stockholm
would I
syndrome.
cut a game that was in development for like 30 years slack?
Or
Well,
a game
but
so
like-
stupid.
I don't know. I played the game and I think the story turned out all right.
I know, but it looks dumb.
It wasn't. I think you're forgetting Final.
No, you don't.
I think you're forgetting Final Fantasy 13. I think was
13, yeah, I
I
don't
think
like
13
that
is easily the lowest, like the low.
I didn't say 13 was
the
great.
low bar of
We've
the
seen-
Final
We've
Fantasy
seen the
franchise.
floor on this
Definitely
thing,
not
so
disagree.
everything.
But you
else
know what
seems better
13
by
had more than
comparison.
15? A lot more story.
Women.
That's true too.
lot more
That is true. It was a little bit of a sausage fest, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough talking about this weird
Not
ass
even impressive
DLC.
sausages.
They're the ones that are
I've
like,
seen pictures.
they're the ones that are like mangled that have like the casing all fucked
I've
up.
seen fan art.
Yeah. Like when the sausage explodes off one side.
It's a bubble.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Sausage.
Okay. Chris Davis? Oh, this is weird. I don't know. First of all, I don't know anything about Fear Effect. Square Enix has announced
Oh.
a remake of Fear Effect.
I'll take this one.
Go for it.
You really don't know anything about Fear Effect?
I know it had a lady on the cover.
It was kind of a cult classic, a hidden gem of the PlayStation 1 era. It was a cinema. It was a lot of people compared it to Resident Evil, but it wasn't like a horror game. So imagine like that kind of like very
Parasite Eve.
very cinematic. No, not Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve is horror, and that was an RPG. This was not an RPG, and it wasn't horror. It had
It's
like
actually nothing like Resident Evil.
no. It's just not horror themed.
And it
It's
doesn't
more-
have guns.
It's no, it does have guns. You're just not killing undead zombies. It
just
well,
doesn't have-
actually,
it's
hold
not a
on,
horror
hold on.
game.
There was.
There's no guns.
Wait.
There's gun. Wait, what do we establish here? There's no zombies.
You know how you're walking around from screen to screen and it's all cinematic and different angles and shit,
Yeah,
like Resident Evil.
sure.
Not a lot of other games do that.
Okay.
Fear Effect was that kind of game,
Okay.
but you were solving puzzles
And it starred a lady. It's like the only thing I remember, right?
Man, you need to try Fear Effect, bro.
I apparently do. I didn't even know Fear Effect was like a critically acclaimed. Is it a
I mean, it's
critically
not
acclaimed?
that it's critically acclaimed, but
Popular
it was good.
cult hit. I mean, it's a cult hit, I guess.
And there was 2 games, and they were both good. And then the third one got canceled. And then there was this weird Kickstarter for this game that I played the demo of, and it's really lame. And now that same company that same developer is remaking the first game.
Wait, the same developer that put out the crappy one?
That one's not even finished. Fear Effect, like Silmarillion or whatever it's fucking called.
But that's what I'm saying is the developer that worked on that game.
From what I understand, yeah, they're remaking Fear Effect 1, which is nice because at least it's not that bad thing that I played on Steam.
Is this just Is this just another example of the what we're seeing more and more of with like the Crash Bandicoot thing?
Well, no.
Nostalgia sells, though.
I think this is more along the lines of like, this shit ain't ever coming out. I don't think
Wait,
this thing's gonna get made.
the Fear Effect remake?
Oh, fuck that, man. No one cares about Fear Effect, even though it was dope back in the day. This developer is not gonna do that. This shit's never gonna get made. What is this gonna be, like Kickstarted or something? Who's gonna kickstart a Fear Effect game? You know nothing about Fear Effect.
I don't.
And you like Resident Evil. You had a PlayStation. No one... I don't know, man. I like Fear Effect. In fact, I'm going to play some Fear Effect tomorrow. Literally.
Were you planning on that, or is it just now you're making that
I was
decision?
planning on it. It's on Tom H's list. You know, the elusive Tom H.
Nope.
But yeah, this is more along the lines of like the Resident Evil 2 remake. Like, what the hell is this gonna make? What the hell is this gonna resemble when it actually comes out? And is it really even gonna happen?
You know, Prince of the Universe in chat brings up the Shenmue 3 trailer I didn't even think about.
Oh my god, that looks terrible. But I mean, show the Shenmue. Well, I guess
I didn't watch it.
Shenmue looked impressive back in the day. This is like, it looks worse than the original Shenmue, and it's 17 years later.
Holy shit.
18 years later. That's rude. That's mean. I don't know. I don't like Shenmue.
You're a rude person.
So I don't really care. Shenmue seemed really boring to me back in the day. And then Yakuza came out, and they're like, this is like Shenmue, but better. Hey, also in the news, Yakuza Kiwami 2 got announced, which is the full remake of Yakuza 2. Yakuza 2 might be my favorite Yakuza game, but can I say this? Stop it. I know this is a dream for like Jack and some other Yakuza fans, but like those are weird people. Like, I love and respect Yakuza in a lot of ways. I think Yakuza Zero is sick. I think Krispy needs to finish it, and he's a bad person. But listen, man,
I haven't even started it. I didn't even get points called
Yakuza
out.
started in what, like 2006? There's been 45 Yakuza games in 10 years. They put out 3 a year now. I mean, that might not even be an exaggeration.
And those games are
Stop it. Stop it. Like
And they're not small either.
They were already samey before they started remaking them and putting them out every year, and now they're remaking them. And putting them out every year.
I didn't expect you to take this stance, to be honest.
No, listen, man. Yakuza's cool. Yakuza's cool when it was like this game, like that. You know, hey, what is? I never played this back in the day. I thought it was GTA, but in Japan, it's nothing like that. It's like Shenmue, but fun. Like this thing's cool, and then you realize that, like, oh no, these are coming out like every year. Japan loves them, and then we started finally getting them all, and I started playing them, and I was like, well, okay, yeah,
Hey,
these are all pretty similar.
By the way, Gamerbeck, I did swear that I was going to finish Yakuza 0 before the end of the year, and you know what? It's only August, baby.
No, No. It's not that it was good before it got popular. It was good before there was 40 of them, and they were all the fucking same. Like, they're dynasty warriorsing this shit. And the only reason it gets a pass is because each one has a unique, like, story. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Dynasty Warriors doesn't have a story, so you're literally doing the same thing in every fucking game. Yep. But, like, you know, if this game, but like this is, what were we talking about? That, like, Uncharted, right? Mm-hmm. Like this is a series way more than Uncharted needs to take a fucking break and, like, seriously reinvent itself. And they need to stop making new ones. They need to stop making remakes. Just calm down. Because it's a cycle that doesn't have to end. They could remake 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6, and by the time they get around, they'll do like a super remake of 1.
They'll remake the remake of 1.
That could actually happen.
Oh shit! It's like
It's already
remake
in the
squared.
works.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that's happened with other games before.
Do we have any other news topics? I think we had.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Super NES Classic.
Oh my God, what a disaster!
What? I mean, is
And
there really
Nintendo
much?
said, "Oh no, there's going to be way more of these." Listen,
There was 3 more.
That is
well,
way.
maybe, but like, but the other thing is, like, if you didn't pre-order the NES Classic, it was really hard to get one, right?
Yep.
But like, now we live in a world where people could never get an NES Classic, so the demand and the fear of getting one is so much higher. So you can't just make, you know, a certain percentage more. You need to make exponentially more because you fucked this up so bad the first time that everyone is scared. Also, Super Nintendo, way more desirable and nostalgic for a lot of the people who are buying this shit right now than the NES was. NES is great and all. A lot of those games don't hold up as well as Super Nintendo games. And a lot of the people who have the fondest memories of this are like, they're dead now. They're
Oh, Jesus Christ!
They died of old age. They died of old age. The people who are spending the most right now are the people who grew up with the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation and the 64, and like that generation is getting
They're all dead. I can't believe you just said that.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, like,
Holy shit.
it's like, I'd much rather play Final Fantasy VI than Final Fantasy
Man,
1.
you know what? I have to tell you
Okay?
what. It is so nice not caring about the Super NES Classic.
But
Because
like,
people look like they're.
But like, I feel like they made that for you.
Why? No. I feel like if I wanted to play a Super NES.
What are you gonna do? This is the best way.
This is why
the
emulators
best.
exist.
No, but see, you're not gonna do that. That's why it's for you.
Wait, why would I not do that?
Because, man,
Emulators are difficult.
Yeah.
They're finicky. They don't always run
Hey,
well.
but I have.
if you bought this thing, you would actually play some Super Nintendo games that probably people have been telling
First
you
of all,
you should always play.
and a lot of the Super Nintendo games that I would want to play anyways are available on the Wii Store. So,
I mean,
like,
that's true, but they're not available. But like, this is such a nice, cool. I guarantee you, if this was actually on store shelves and you can walk into a store and buy one, you would buy one because they're adorable and they come with all the best games and they have 2 controllers and they're not that expensive and it's just kind of a great way to experience some of the past. You know, it's accessible. It's wonderful. It has a rewind.
I do want y'all to know I do use PCSX2. Like, I have used an emulator before. I'm not incapable of using an emulator.
But like this is you HDMI, you plug it into your TV, you know, you're playing Secret of Mana with Robin. Like it's fucking easy and accessible and well done. You know?
Secret of Mana sucks. I'm just kidding. I've never
But
played
I'm saying
that game.
like that's
But I
the thing.
could if I had a Super NES Classic.
Exactly.
At an
and like they're
infinite,
fucking
incalculable markup from an emulator.
they should make so much more of these.
Because zero.
$0 to
What
$60.
the fuck are they doing?
They're screwing the pooch, as they say.
You don't care. You don't care now. But like, you know, one of these days they're gonna make an N64 classic, and it's gonna have all your favorite fucking games.
Do I
And
have? Do I have to use an N64 controller to play it? Because if that's the case,
Well,
fuck it.
who knows what they'll do? You know, by the time they get around to the N64 classic, they might actually do some smart shit with that controller. Because that might not fly. But
I feel like it's weird, Brad, because like someone's in chat pointing this out, but like I feel like the tables have turned a bit, because I feel like normally I'd be the one like, I really want the Super NES Classic, and then you'd be like, fuck you, Nick, just use an emulator. Why are you being dumb? But like it's like backwards. What's happening here?
no, like if I would tell like Nolan that.
What?
But you're missing my point completely.
Apparently,
We treat you like an octogenarian when it comes to computers. Nick.
like a what?
Exactly.
No, what I'm saying is like this thing is for you, for the people who just kind of want to like, who don't have, well, whatever.
made
The
for the
point
Nicks
is,
of the world.
I fucking want one. A lot of people want one. We can't have one. It's fucking Nintendo. What are you doing? Why?
They're being Nintendo.
Don't people want them? You're probably going to make a lot of money on them, right? I mean,
It
Brad,
seems
you're just constantly
it seems
describing
illogical.
Nintendo as a company.
well,
it seems illogical.
I walked into a store and bought a Switch today. I just, you know why? Because they kept making those. Why did they just stop making the NES Classic and people still wanted them? That's not how that works. People want the thing, make it. Sell it. Make your money.
You know what they do, right? They sell a bunch, and they keep thousands of them, and then Nintendo posts them on eBay and sells them for huge markups.
Well, that's
and
what
makes money.
you know,
That doesn't sound
GameStop
legal.
and Amazon did. You know, they had stocks that they like held,
Yeah.
like and you know sold later for like huge markups,
Yeah.
or you know their promotions and stuff.
All right.
It's a really dope ass collectible. It really is, and it sucks that I can't get one.
Well,
except I am.
I
getting
have
one
already
from the
accepted.
UK.
Like, if this was easier to find, I'd probably buy one.
Yeah,
But
it's
I have accepted my fate that I will not be buying one.
well, it's such a shitty thing. The pre-orders went up in the middle of the night. Yeah. Like when everyone was a fucking sleep, and those weren't impossible.
Broadcasting Wolfenstein.
Oh wow, he was.
Yeah,
no, it's like 1 a.m. though.
Yeah, I was still broadcasting Wolfenstein. Remember the boss I talked about?
Fuck. Were people in chat talking about it?
Yeah, I remember
But-
people.
but- Those
I
are the
remember
people
someone-
that could actually reasonably get one. But like everyone like woke up in the morning and was like, "What the fuck?" You know, Amazon and Best Buy, they're done, right? So they're like, "Okay, well, you know, there's rumors that Target's gonna hit today, and Walmart's gonna hit today, and GameStop's gonna hit today." Oh my god, Walmart less than a minute,
Yeah.
gone.
Same with
I was
Target.
standing with my phone out, and like I got the Warriors tweet. I was like, boom, right there. I was actually in Game Exchange on my lunch break, and I told the guy, I was like, the SNES Walmart's up now, and I did it, and it was gone. Like less than a minute, it was gone. Target was a shit show. GameStop's website broke.
Yeah, for like hours too, didn't it? Oh my goodness.
And then if you were standing in a GameStop when it happened, people just started like lining up and pre-ordering it.
Oh my god. Nintendo's bringing the world to its knees. All right,
Everybody blame Sci-Fi Chick. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
that's rude. All right, just kidding. Sci-fi. Moving on. I think that's it for news, right? We don't got any more news.
Nope.
Sweet. All right. Then let's move straight into community. We have some questions to answer from our supporters on Patreon. Nolan, take it away.
Community. Before we get to questions, we have new patrons. We're gonna talk about them.
We got 2 today, by the way.
2 new patrons that we got 2 days ago.
Oh,
Nick,
I got the. Why? Okay, I swear to God, I got the emails today.
I'm sorry. They became patrons on August 22nd.
All right. Well, you.
But today's only August 23rd, as Nick already told us.
That's true. First one is MD, and the other one is Kuronihef.
You're right.
Kuronihef.
You're right. That was Tuesday. I'm dumb.
Yep. No arguments here. So thank you to our 2 new patrons.
Medical doctor.
Yep.
And Karun. I don't know how to say it.
Yep.
Karun
So
half.
let's get to some questions from our patrons. One of the new patrons did ask a question this
Ooh,
week.
wonderful.
First question this week from Nexus. If you were chosen to be the spokesperson for your dream game/project, what would it be and how would you market it?
First of all, we have to figure out what our dream game project is. I feel like that would just by default be like you would pick the one project you don't want to fail.
It's
I
a
got it.
bit of a paradox because I think that the game that I would be the quote-unquote spokesperson for would be so amazing and so incredible that it would
Sell itself.
speak for itself. And I wouldn't have to do anything.
I got mine.
That's a really
It would be Final Fantasy Tactics 2.
weird thing to say. That's like that's a David answer. That's a weird thing to say.
It would be Final Fantasy Tactics 2, and my marketing would be it's a sequel to Final Fantasy Tactics.
And then no one would buy it.
No, everybody wants
Which
that.
is kind of just an extension of what I was saying.
It's just
My
By the way,
game.
this can't by default just become. I'd make a sequel to my favorite game of all time.
That's not what I'm doing
Okay.
here. I actually have a legitimate fucking answer. My game would be Prey 2, like like that whole Nick. Can I fucking talk before
I
you
didn't
make
say
fucking
anything.
faces at me?
Okay, no.
It would be a
I can't wait till we get to this fucking dinosaur born game. Where we have to invent some bullshit.
It would be a
Secret
bounty
Agent Dino.
hunting game similar to Prey 2, but it would be in the Cowboy Bebop universe.
Ooh.
So you'd be Cowboy like Spike doing hunting bounties. And the marketing, it's a little difficult. I'm not sure the best way to market that.
Everybody loves Cowboy Bebop.
Everyone fucking loves Cowboy
Even my
Bebop.
wife
Prey
loves Cowboy
2,
Bebop.
Prey 2 looked amazing. Like running and chasing guys while fucking like jazz music plays in the background. That would be fucking amazing. I would totally love a game like that. And that's what I would say on the trailer.
All right, fair enough. I would pick the official return of Silent Hill, starring
It's returned.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm picking something random.
Hey,
I feel like The Rock
adds
sells
a lot
shit.
to various
Yeah,
projects.
The Rock. There was a few weeks back we decided, right? Like The Rock never detracts from our project. He only
true.
adds to.
That's true.
Yep.
So I feel like I would Silent Hill starring Dwayne The Rock just to make sure it sells. And then that would give me enough money to then make a sequel called Silent Hills starring.
You can't remember his name.
No, I was gonna think. I was
Norman
trying to think of
Reedus.
somebody else.
Edward Norton. There you go.
Sure.
All right, let's move on. Next question this week from Mr.
Edward
Green
Norton would
Toast.
be a good Silent Hill
He would be.
actor.
With the recent update for Brink going free to play has been a
What?
somewhat success and currently has more players playing it than Lawbreakers.
Wait, that's a real thing?
Yes.
What sorts of older games could pull off such a feat if they went free to play?
Yes. By the way, not breaking, but news this week: Brink is now free to play and has more players than Lawbreakers.
Well, it's free to play. That doesn't
So.
fucking count. But really? Who is that? Who owns Brink?
I don't remember.
A lot of people now that it's free.
No, but like what? What?
Can we pick anything?
Brink is on PC, first of all.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wait. So wait, what's the question? What shooter or
No, it just says what sorts of older games could pull off such a feat.
dude?
if
Can
they
you
weren't free to
imagine,
play.
guys? Can you fucking imagine if they brought back GoldenEye, like they remade GoldenEye and made it free to fucking play? Oh my god!
That
It'd be intense.
sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Fuck off!
Yeah, GoldenEye's not good.
Fuck! What the fuck are y'all talking about?
Nick,
Hold
you're
up.
just thinking of nostalgia.
It really
Hey,
doesn't.
hey.
It was good when it was the first like console
They
shooter
did it
you
with
ever got
Perfect
into.
Dark.
Oh, Brink is Bethesda. That's right.
Fuck all of you guys.
Hey, no one's doubting the quality of GoldenEye
I am.
from
Yeah,
back in the
fucking
day.
Krispy is.
But I don't think anyone wants to play it now.
I have been dying to play it again. The only reason I haven't been playing it is because I know I'd have to pick up an N64 controller, which is the bane of my fucking existence.
My answer to you would
The fact
be
that there's not
just
a-
play Time Splitters, but even that is too old now.
I'm talking about like a modern remake, like GoldenEye Source, but like extrapolated out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Fuck. I want that. Honestly, the only reason like I'm not as interested in GoldenEye Source is because I would like to play the campaign of GoldenEye again. but like
They did
GoldenEye
kinda
Source
remake
is
that, right?
I'm trying to think of a
it's
game that
multiplayer
did
only.
like mediocre, but if it was free to play, would have been a whole lot better. That's what I'm trying to think of.
GoldenEye Reloaded or whatever. That's a completely different game.
completely different game.
How about Mad Max?
Huh.
And then your free to play element comes in with the car.
Wait, first of all, did you just call Mad Max mediocre?
It was kind of mediocre.
Sales
fuck yourself.
wise, yes, it was. A
No, but the
mediocre
word
game.
reminded me of Mad Max more than anything.
Dude, I fucking...
That game was... Nick?
I will fight you.
That game was good. That game was good.
Fucking great. It was like...
That game was good.
It was in my top 10.
Nick, that game was
Great.
mediocre.
That game was fucking
That game was good.
fucking
Nick.
fantastic. God, I want a sequel to that game.
Good, period.
Dragon's Dogma, maybe.
Oh,
I think that happened.
yeah. Yeah.
We never got it.
You had
Yeah.
to pay for
I'm
the
sorry, guys.
crystals to hire pawns
I can't
and shit.
think through my fucking rage right now.
All right, let's move on to the next question then from our new patron, MD. Brad,
Medical doctor.
thanks for taking a huge steaming dump on one of my favorite games from
Is
childhood.
this Sonic?
I'm, of course, talking about Sonic.
I
My
felt
question
bad
is-
afterwards.
Guys, I think MD literally just paid $1 to become our Patreon supporter so he could tell Brad
No,
thanks
no,
for
no,
shitting
no.
on his game.
Go, I mean, you can finish. Go ahead.
My question is, which direction would you take the Sonic franchise after the success of Mania?
Metroidvania.
God, I feel you had that.
Everyone loves a good Metroidvania.
He's not wrong. Hollow Knight's pretty
Yeah, sadly, he's not wrong.
But
That's probably...
I mean,
Dude, first-person VR, Sonic.
Lord.
But you actually, like, spin? Like,
Oh,
in
Jesus.
first person?
I would say RPG, but BioWare already did that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, that's a thing. I forgot about that.
Supposedly good.
Yeah, I heard it was okay. Yeah, I don't know. A Metroidvania. I mean, fucking, I've been waiting on Mario to do it for decades, you know?
Give it to Mercury Steam.
That would be such a fucking slam dunk for Mario.
good. It would
For
be.
a lot of things.
Just think about it. Like, the whole thing would be like him inside Bowser's castle or something. Oh, beautiful.
It'd be slam dunk for a lot of things.
All right, moving on. Next question from Arxidus. What are some of your favorite gaming or non-gaming interviews? Creators being very candid or explaining very fine details. Maybe something unexpected happened.
Yoko Taro, I mean.
Favorite
With a lot of his near interview.
Non-gaming for me would pretty much be any interview with Quentin Tarantino. Because, oh my God, that man is fucking crazy.
I saw a clip from that one he gave when
With
Kill
Jan?
Bill was coming out. Yeah, cause it's fun, Jan.
She's like, there's a lady like talking. She's like, why do your movies have to be so violent?
And he's so like coked up. He's just like talking like this. Like,
Oh, man. See,
it's so funny.
gaming interviews is...
Yeah.
they can be pretty bad.
I feel like I mentioned it last week, but those Hellblade, like the... whatever they call them, the documentaries about the making of Hellblade. There's a lot of great interviews there. That's obviously on top of my mind because it's more recent.
How about Jeff Keighley and what's his face, formerly of Xbox, when they were announcing the Xbox
Oh
One?
yeah. Oh god, that might be one of my favorite fucking interview
Don
moments.
Matrick?
Yeah, Don
Don
Matrick
Matrick,
and
yeah.
when Jeff Keighley was in it. That was brilliant. That
What
was
about,
fucking brilliant.
What about any interview with what was that guy's name?
Of course we're-
Sean Murray.
Of course, we're talking about when Don Matrick's response to the question about what was the actual question when Jeff Keighley asked him about what do you say to
talking
people?
about like what about all the people who lived in like rural areas
Yeah,
that didn't have
without
stable
internet,
internet
yeah.
connections.
This was back when the Xbox One was going to have
Online
was
only.
online
Still very
only.
much. Yeah.
And Don Matrick's response was, "Well, we have a product for those people. It's called the Xbox 360." And Jeff Keighley's reaction was, "Is that the answer
There
you're
was a
going?"
very heavy pause.
Yeah, there was an
between
awkward pause.
them.
He was like, "Is that the answer you're
So
going
that's
with?"
your answer.
And that was, you're right. I'm glad you remembered that one because that was fantastic.
I feel like you can feel the exhaustion. In
What
Jeff
about
Keighley's voice.
outside of? Is there anyone you like to watch interviewed outside of gaming? Just out of curiosity, I've been. Who makes a great interview on like a talk show?
I will say, what is that? Screen Junkies. They do like movie reviews and stuff like that. They have really good interviews. Like they're always fun.
Yeah.
Like they make what's that?
No, I just remembered a good one. It was an article like maybe 2 years ago with Peter Molyneux about like the state of Goddess and like the Kickstarter game that never came about. It like it was somebody had, I don't remember if it was it was probably Polygon or something like that, but somebody had interviewed him for like an hour over the phone or something, and it was just like him grilling Peter Molyneux on like all the failed like deadlines, all the broken promises, how like they'd had this. It was after the whole whatever that mobile game he did was the cube thing was, and the guy won that game, and the prize of that was that they were going to make another game where that dude was like the god, and it was basically just this whole interview where he was grilling him about how that whole development process fell apart, and like Peter Molyneux is so is on the defensive the entire fucking time, and like kind of is just by the end of it like, yeah man, we really fucked up, like, but you know, like and it is, oh my god,
that sounds,
it was rock paper shotgun, that's what it was. Oh, it was so good.
Questions was, do you consider yourself a pathological liar?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, it was so good.
That sounds like a fucking cringe video that I would catch Nolan watching, and I don't think I could.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Whew.
Why do you like to watch suffering, Crispy?
Nolan, what are you talking about? It's Nolan.
I like reading suffering.
Yeah,
I like watching suffering.
Nolan likes to watch suffering. Crispy likes to read it.
I have no answer. I don't know.
Any interview
Someone
Eric
funny,
Andre's
Tim
ever done?
All right, let's move on. Zero Skies asks, what would be the first game you introduce your kid to play? Those without many people yet, feel free to answer to.
Spyro the Dragon. It's for babies.
First of all, we need a serious answer because you are literally about to have a kid. So what is
Spyro
your?
the Dragon.
Are you really going to introduce your kid to games with Spyro the Dragon?
Here's the problem.
If it's going to be very young.
Here's the problem. I think, what, 3-year-olds play games usually? That's when they start.
Sure.
Like iPads and shit like that.
No,
3 years
no
from
iPads.
now, I think games are going to be
Switch.
completely different. I think games are constantly evolving. I mean, look at like the mobile games that get like Flappy Bird and shit. Stuff like that really takes off and it's simple. And kids like playing. What was that? That one that cut the rope or whatever a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And like, you know, what is that? The Candy Crush, stuff like that.
Fruit Ninja.
Yeah, Fruit Ninja. Kids love playing games like those, and I think no matter what you do, they're gonna find them, and that's what they're gonna want to do. Like back in our day, when we were children. Before there were mobile phones with like screens and stuff, if you were going to play a game, it was either on a PC or a console.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had to introduce your child to a video game. Whereas now there are at the fucking airport, there are screens that you can play games on.
No mobile games for my son.
If Brad sees this kid with a phone, he's just going to slap it out of his
tough.
hand.
Yes, SNES Classic will be where he
Nick
starts.
probably fucking can attest to this too, but like when we were working at GameStop, there would be parents coming in all the time with like 3-year-olds who were thinking like, oh, Nintendo, naturally that's kid friendly, so they'd buy their kid like a DS or something.
Yo, I want that GTA.
And then
That's what they do.
and then the kid can't play the game because it's all reading.
Yeah.
It seems
that
like the
definitely
games that are
happened a
most
lot.
appropriate for kids like don't really cater to kids.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. See, I feel like something
three's
like
kinda young.
I don't even play a game. I don't even play this
feel like
game,
it's kinda
but
young.
I feel like it would be a good game to introduce kids to because it like fosters like that creative thinking process. And I feel like maybe something like Minecraft would be good. Although I don't know how reading intensive that is, to be
It's
totally
not
honest.
reading
Not
intensive
at
at
all.
all.
No, nothing at all.
Kids
So, like,
fucking love the shit out of
Minecraft actually
Yeah.
probably is.
That's
a
probably
great
one of the
selection.
highest. Like when I was Bernadette's cousins, like they have like younger kids, like 6, 4, 7, whatever, around that age, and they play the shit.
yeah,
out
I mean,
That's the entire
it fosters
world, yeah.
creativity, and I think it is enough of a like mainstream, or it has enough in common with like the kinds of games that I want my kid to like grow into liking and enjoying. I think it would be a good place to start.
Bullshit, man. Fucking Mega Man, Zelda, Castlevania. I mean, fuck, man.
You beat this level or you don't get dinner.
No, just let them play video games, like real ass video games. It worked for us.
You heard it here first. Minecraft is not a video game.
Dude, I like never finished any of those.
I mean,
games when I was
yeah,
a
fuck
kid.
it, fuck it. Start with Mario. Goddamn.
Fine, yeah. What is wrong with Mario Brothers? Super Mario Brothers.
All right, let's move on to the final question this week from Cobra. So I know that as a patron, I was told I can ask anything
Oh God.
I want, but just out of curiosity, what kind of questions are you guys not going to answer?
That's his question?
His question is, what questions are we not going to answer?
This one.
This one.
Booyah!
Boom! Moving on. Thanks for writing in.
Booyah!
No, I actually kind of like Brad's answer. Not
All
this
right,
one.
and that's all the questions we have this week, guys. Any patron can ask us any question they want. We will.
Savage.
So we appreciate all of our patrons.
We do. We appreciate every single one of it. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you're a supporter of us in the $15 tier, we're going to be getting those mugs out to you soon, sporting our new fucking logo.
Yep.
Which you can see
It's a
over
logo.
there.
It's not fucking. It's just the new logo.
Yes. Yeah. Right. No fucking. Just logo. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that it?
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Thank you, Nolan. It's time to wrap up the show with the 4-player minute. Hype, sweat, thank you, and fuck you of the week. Brad, this might be your last chance for a while.
Someone else go then.
I can start. As soon as I pull up my notepad. Here it is. All right, my hype this week is Mario plus Rabbids. Kingdom Battle, whatever. That comes out Tuesday. I'm excited to finally use my Switch again. It's been a while. I'm pretty hyped to play that. Get the XCOM vibes going on. My sweat goes to just... There's so many fucking games out right now. I just got a code for Mages of Australia, which is kind of a smaller indie game we played.
I remember you playing that at PAX, didn't you?
PAX? Yeah, PAX
South. Yeah.
was when I first played it. It's kind of a game where like anything goes. You can just like create spells that do things. It's a pretty intricate system, but it's just one more game on my huge list of games I have to play. My thank you goes to Naughty Dog for the Uncharted picture mode. That is fantastic.
Which is some
I've
fucking
had
gems.
so much fun just kind of like messing around, like changing facial expressions and just kind of pausing at the right moment. And then my fuck you is going to go to Harvey, and because I know that's not going to be fun.
Hurricane
Steve Harvey?
Hurricane Harvey.
I've seen a lot of Steve Harvey gifts
I've
today.
seen him messing up winners on like contests.
Yeah, that's true.
Still watch that Super Deluxe video like on a daily basis.
Super Deluxe.
The Steve Harvey doesn't want to host Family Feud anymore.
All right,
right.
that's it.
My
Krispy.
hype this week is because we were talking about Uncharted. I don't give a shit about Uncharted, but it did make me think about Last of Us 2. So I'm hype
Oh,
for
that game
PSX.
that's not coming out for a long time?
I'm hyped for PSX for more information about her last.
You know, one thing we didn't
I
talk
was
about.
joking.
You're
I was
dummy too.
joking. I was joking about Uncharted. I'll fucking play Uncharted. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck you to this week goes to you guys because fuck you guys.
Maybe start with the second game. Nah, I'm just kidding. You gotta play it.
Yeah,
first.
you gotta
Play it on easy.
Play the shitty one too.
It's not shitty.
Play it on easy.
My sweat for this week is that I go back to school on Monday. So, all my time. My fuck you for this week goes to
I think you just said it.
everyone from the coast who's moving inland, taking all of our gas and our groceries just because their homes are about to be
Taking all our
destroyed.
bread.
Why don't you cowards just stand your ground like a bunch of men? I'm sorry. That's
Wow.
That's not at all. That's not at all my fuck you.
Wow.
My fuck you is
That's
to
a hell of a
Har-
stance
is
to
also
take.
to Hurricane Harvey because we had the stock up today. And my thank you for the week goes to everybody, all of you guys, for being here every week and supporting us, and for not calling me out on this cop out of a thank you.
Okay, I was actually about to call you out, but now that you've thanked me, I think I'll pass.
Sterling has a good point. We live in Texas. How come those people aren't taking up their guns and just shooting the hurricane dead?
That's a good damn question. All right, my hype this week is actually fucking Assassin's Creed Origins, man. I'm starting to get the itch. I was watching the video they put out today about the world, and I'm fucking excited to explore the world.
And you're just like, fuck.
Was there a pyramid?
There was a
So
pyramid.
the one thing I don't think I ever brought this up when we played it at E3, but as the eagle, at one point during my demo, I just started flying in a direction. And I was like, how far can I go? And the guy was like, I don't know. And I went until the end of where they would let you go in the demo. Like,
Yeah.
can the eagle fly throughout the whole fucking game?
That's a good question. I have no idea. We'll find
I
out
would
soon
hope
enough.
They limit you in
Point
some way. I
is,
don't know.
it's been 2 years since an Assassin's Creed game. It's a Black Flag team. It's Egypt. I've been wanting an Egypt game for a long time. The world looks fucking beautiful, and it sounds like legitimately some of the changes they've talked about making to the systems and the way you explore the world and the way you take missions all sound like positive changes. So I am looking forward to trying that. My fuck you of the week goes to the final boss of Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. I mentioned it earlier. I can't fucking believe I spent 45 minutes only to end up taking it down in 2 seconds with dual assault rifles. But on a side note, I can also thank Taco Trucks in chat who gave me that pro tip that allowed me to finally finish off that boss. My sweat goes to a boss in Neo. I think the boss is called Ogress, the Ogress. I actually already played and beat this boss. In fact, I did it on my last broadcast last Sunday.
That's a real creepy looking one.
Yeah, the one in the field of flowers. I beat it on like my second try, but this is my sweat because I was literally sweating like the entire time. I was like about halfway through the fight. Like there's so much dodging and so intense. Like my hands were sweating, and I was like so scared that the controller was going to slip out of my hands. But I held on to the end, and it was like the most not painful, but like just like. Oh, it feels terrible trying to hold on to a controller that's like on the verge of slipping out of your hands while in the middle of an intense boss fight. Man, that was...
You really suffered for your art.
Yeah, I did. Thanks. But, man, that was a fun fight and a great boss. But, man, sweating balls. And my official thank you of the week actually goes to Nolan, of course, for helping me build my new broadcasting/gaming PC, which seems to be working like a fucking charm. It's gonna be the... It's going to be the upper hand that I need to allow me to broadcast more frequently, especially during Brad's hiatus. I'll be maybe picking up some extra shifts.
It's factual, that's all.
I have to build your system.
Oh my God. We can't have this argument on the podcast. Save it for after the show. Brad.
Because we didn't get the same dome.
I will say this. I was like... Something has to have gone wrong because that was like the smoothest PC build.
Let me ask you, how much were you paying attention?
I mean, I was paying attention most of the time. I would
say like 95%.
How drunk were you?
If he had to like test me now, like he gave me a quiz, I probably wouldn't pass the quiz.
Do you feel more comfortable with like, just...
Yeah. Nick, what was the thing I forgot to do at the very beginning when we were doing the build? What did I forget to do?
Didn't you forget to plug in the power supply or turn on the power supply? Or
That's close.
Well, what was it?
I forgot to run the power from the power supply to the CPU on the motherboard. I only did the motherboard power supply.
Hey, people can stop asking me, drilling me on questions about the PC build. I'm not an expert or anything yet. I do feel better about it, but like that was a very smooth PC build. So thank you, Nolan, for helping me with that.
Modern PC building's like Legos.
Fucking Carlos knew.
It used to be so much more complicated.
It's great. And now literally my favorite part about it is I broadcasted for like 7 hours on Sunday, and I was able to switch between playing on the PC and broadcasting on the PS4 or whatever without having to stand up and walk into the other room and like change a bunch of shit and then like jump over the wires that are draped back and forth. I just literally just switched to a different input, changed everything and switched back and kept going. Like that alone makes the whole thing worth it. So
that's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. My 4-player minute. I'm going to do all thank yous because I have a lot to thank before. I'm just kidding. 4 fuck yous. Fuck you to Mercury Steam. Fuck you now and forever. You ruined Castlevania and you're about to do it with Metroid. I know it. Deep down, I know it. Even
Brad, talking to your mic.
Even if the reviews are like, oh, this seems like a solid Metroid game. Fuck you. You know it deserves better than solid. Fuck you.
What if you play and it's amazing?
Fuck you to Konami.
What if you played it's better than
Metal Gear Survive
AM2R?
is still coming out, right? When does that come out?
I forgot about that.
Fuck you, Konami. Where's Castlevania? Fuck you.
Where's Silent Hill?
They're in pachinko machines. That's what they're.
Where's everything, Konami? Oh, God. You fucked it up.
Konami is single-handedly responsible for destroying 3 incredible franchises.
3?
I mean, at least 3. The three that I care about. How's that?
3.
Maybe 4? Contra? Is that one of them?
What about Suikoden?
Oh, I forgot about Suikoden. Did they ruin it or just stop making it?
Yes.
Both. Literally both.
Okay.
Fuck you to Nintendo. This one should be obvious. I want a SNES Classic. I can't buy one. You're a big company that makes things to sell them to make money, and you're not doing it. Fuck you. Also, for Advance Wars, fuck you. Where is it? And my final fuck you goes to Game of Thrones because you're dumb.
That should have been my fuck you.
My fuck you goes to all you Game of Thrones
You can't
haters.
say that.
Nick, watch
You've not
this
even
latest
seen
episode.
the latest episode. You can't say
really
that.
haven't.
He's gonna love it.
I probably am gonna love it.
That's okay though. That's okay.
Why
I'm
is
sure
that
a lot of people love it.
It's okay to love
but you are
something.
gonna hate certain aspects of it because it is dumb.
It's so dumb.
I'm gonna fucking love it. I'm gonna fucking love it. I can't wait to tweet. Man, I fucking love that episode.
What is the airspeed velocity of an
Oh my
unlabeled
God! Are we really gonna
Westerosi
nitpick?
raven?
Oh my God!
No, it's cheesy and predictable. It's whatever.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things I saw on the internet was like an image of this like really shitty car and then like a jet airplane, and it was like Game of Thrones travel in season 1 versus season 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Fuck all you.
They gotta
Season we
wrap
on
this
now?
shit up.
5?
Guys,
You know
think-
what I got excited about?
there
today?
are literally 7 episodes of the show left.
Yep.
I know.
Period.
Whatever. Fuck the show. You know what I got excited about today? The thought.
Jesus Christ!
It was the thought of reading the next
I didn't.
Song of Ice and
I
Fire.
thought I had
Scared
it
the
contained.
shit out of me.
I thought I had it contained. I'm sorry.
I was thinking about the next Song of Ice and Fire book.
No,
And
at its earliest,
I was-
maybe 2018.
I was getting excited.
I know, dude. I'm reading the Mystery Knight right now, and it's like,
Guys, I don't think
getting
I
me
can
so
fucking do it.
hard.
I don't think I can fucking do it, man.
What?
Fucking read those books.
Then fuck you.
Aren't you-
Then
haven't you-
fuck you, Nick.
haven't you
Get out of
read-
my fucking house.
What do you mean you can't do it?
Dude, it took me a fucking year to read book 1.
Is that all you've read?
Yeah. Well, I've read like half of book 2.
Reading books.
I know,
You
dude. I
haven't
just
made
don't
it to
have the
book
fucking
4.
time to read books and
haven't
play
made
video
it to book
games
4.
and do all the other shit that I want to do. I just can't find the fucking time, man.
I mean, you can.
Think about it. Krispy barely ever plays video games because he's always reading books.
And you're not reading books because you keep watching Smallville.
That's not true.
No, actually,
last
I'm not
He's
watching,
watching
Smallville.
Dexter and Buffy.
I've been
now.
watching anime.
Dexter next.
No, I mean, Robin's watching Dexter. I just happen to watch whenever she's watching.
Did you know? You remember how last week I was?
I'm
giving-
rewatching Buffy
I was
right
giving
now.
the dumbass example of like I want productive reading or whatever gameplay
Yes.
or whatever. I convinced myself like yesterday that I should watch Buffy so I can play those Buffy games that are supposed to. be kind of
No,
all
they're
right.
not good.
No, I've heard they're kind of all right, but I need to watch the show.
There's
first.
only one of them that's kind of all right. It was
Nick,
the
I'm
Chaos.
telling you that I watch Buffy. Don't talk me out of this.
Oh no, absolutely watch Buffy. Fuck.
But because I can, it's productive.
Yeah.
It's productive.
That show is fucking phenomenal. It's still fucking phenomenal. Even
You're married, Nolan.
My mic's not working, but the show's almost over. What is wrong with our
Your
cables
mic's
and
fine,
mics?
Brad. You're just far away from it.
I'm not.
You're farther away than you were earlier
I'm not
in
that
the show.
far away. It should be louder.
all right, that's our show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching / listening. This could very well be the last show for a while with Brad on it. So say your goodbyes. He'll be back. Just
I
get-
mean, I
We're gonna miss you,
plan
Brad.
to be here next week.
yeah, no, but next week might be D&D. Might be D&D. We'll see. We're gonna kind of play it by ear.
Oh yeah, definitely my last official podcast for a while.
Yes. You'll see Brad here and there, I'm sure, but
I think
he's gonna be on hiatus for a while. We'll keep this train rolling until you get back.
Please remember
Best of
me.
luck.
Please don't forget me.
We're not gonna forget you. Best of luck with your child. We
Thanks.
can't wait to meet Henry. Right?
Thanks. Yeah.
Do you have a middle name yet?
If I say it's Belmont,
Uh-huh.
Is that official?
nothing's official.
If it's still raining,
Everything's permitted.
if it's still raining when Malia gives birth, you have to go with Stormborn. You have to.
All right.
Is it lame to call him Belmont?
Yeah, but everything you've suggested has been lame, and that's the least lame.
It's the least lame.
It's the least lame.
I'm gonna have a talk with you about your microphone, Crispy.
No.
You're killing me. You're fucking killing me.
No.
God damn it.
All right.
Anyways, thank you
That's
guys
it.
so much for listening. 4playernetwork.com is the website, of course. Join us again. Well, maybe not next. Well, join us next week for D&D. or a podcast, one or the other. But we'll be back with another podcast at the very least in 2 weeks. And of course, keep your eyes peeled for Brad's top 10 games of all time, which is coming soon. Please join our Discord, discord.gg/4player. And if you are so inclined, please support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.